guys, we're here. We've got sound. Everything's right, I think.
You know the drill, guys. Just report the tech issues
tell
below.
Tell us if we're here. Yeah, tell us if you can hear us and if we're loud and clear.
Yeah, so have the comments on so people can see.
Oh, yes, of course. We need to get the comments on. We forgot what we're doing.
Don't know what we're doing.
We don't know what we're doing.
We are used to being here twice a week, aren't we? And it's been a while. We weren't really ourselves last week, were we either?
No, we were a bit tired last week because we were up till 5 o'clock editing in the morning. The cyber leader, West Ham United FC, says, come on, up the pool. He's now cheering for the pool. He's gone off cheering for everybody else. He's gone off Oxford now. He was on Oxford before, but he's back with the pool. Callum Hayes says, good afternoon, guys and girls. Hope you're all having a great weekend so far. So far.
Are we? Are we having a great weekend so far?
We're having a decent weekend so far.
We had quite a stressful night with Star Trek last night, didn't we?
We're obviously incredibly nervous. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but I'm feeling it. The thought of losing is just too much.
Well, I've been trying to console myself in advance in case that happens. And things like, if we're back at football next season, it's going to be a shock, isn't it, financially for a lot of people?
This is going to be a shock.
And when we used to just paying £10 for iFollow, but the Championship is going to be a bigger shock, isn't it?
If we get there,
yeah.
What are you saying?
Well, no, this is what I'm saying. I'm trying to say to console ourselves.
If we don't make
it, then at least the prices won't be quite as ridiculous next season as they would have been. So it will be an easier transition back to football, basically, is what I'm saying. If we are in League One next season, but obviously we want to win, don't we? But I'm just trying to,
trying to ease the pain.
Yeah, just prepare for the best, hope for the worst, or something.
So we're
for the worst, hope for the best. That's the one.
We're going by car, and Jane has put together a 37-hour playlist so far. Is it down to 37?
Yeah, I've shared it this morning, so you can find it on on Twitter. It's there.
We've got enough tunes to last us till Wembley.
I started listening to it this morning, so I had a bit in the shower this morning. There was one that was. There's a few on there that.
Was that Bucks Fizz one on?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Cameron Everlast, because you're filming. You see what I did there.
Yeah, you see, very cool.
But yes, there was one. There was Tom Jones singing about rain. I thought, oh no, that's not good for that playlist. So I got rid of that one and added that to my rain playlist, which we might have to listen to on the way home, possibly. I don't know. I haven't prepared a.
Do we have a happy home playlist and a depressed playlist?
Well, the happy home playlist will just be the same playlist again, won't it? It'll just be the happy, case.
We need a happy coming back if we lose,
right? But yeah,
we've
got the rain playlist if required, but hopefully it won't be required. I think it starts sounding like I'm a bit defeatist, and I'm not. I'm just trying to, prepare mentally.
Yeah,
prepare you mentally, really.
Jake Tong said he's just making himself look beautiful for the view, so we'll be getting Jake in. He's the Lincoln City podcaster from the Stacey West podcast. He'll be coming in to tell us how wonderful Lincoln are going to do.
And later on, we do have some other guests as well. We have the Lady Imps coming in at 4 o'clock. I've been chatting to them separately earlier on today for their Facebook group. So find out a little bit more about them and who they are and what they do and how they're feeling about the match tomorrow as well. They're lovely ladies, honestly. They're so friendly, these Lincoln fans.
You're getting too funny with Lincoln, aren't you, doing it? Ryan Dunbar says you can't get too funny with him.
I'm just talking to them now because we're not going to be speaking next week, are we?
Ryan Dunbar says, good morning, Vietnam, or in other words, after Seasiders and fans of all clubs.
Yeah.
Thank you. Red Room is here. Hello, Red Room. Hi, Jane and
Red.
Lee.
Did you see I posted in the forum the picture of Bloomfield Bear with the imp yesterday?
Yes, well, Paul Musk is saying, what? No mighty red imp statue with us. We sent him packing.
Yeah, we sent it packing. It's back. We've had reports, actually, that it's back at Radio Lincolnshire. So, yeah, definitely.
Stephen Tomlinson says, I have that feeling again. Believe forever.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling.
What song was that?
Don't stop believing.
Was it?
It's on the playlist.
Okay.
We'll be singing it tomorrow.
I don't remember that version of it, though.
No, that's my version.
Slightly different.
Yeah, you're going to make your own. We've been watching American Idol. You're going to make songs your own. That's what I do.
Callum Hayes says losing hasn't really crossed his mind. Well,
no.
Let's hope you're right, and let's hope it never has to cross your mind. Ryan Dummer says for tech support issues, please call 01253. You'll just have to wait and see. Unfortunately, Ryan doesn't have Spotify. I have. I have Spotify.
Yeah, mine's an Apple iMusic tunes, whatever it's called.
I don't know why you're on there. We've got Spotify.
Because it's...
you could put the whole thing on Spotify.
I've only started using Spotify recently for my... it's like with anything though, isn't it? It's because like you're with Apple and you're kind of stuck with it then. Because all my music's Apple Music, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I started using Spotify to listen to podcasts. Lately.
Costa Chow, Aaron is here. Lee, mate, he says I'm at the Keepmoat Stadium. It's 3-3 at half time in the Charity Legends match with Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh.
I could cry with the atmosphere today.
That's how many's there?
Yeah, let us know how many's in. That's quite incredible. Leon John Butterworth says, does anyone know the amount of cash the winner will get for the championship? Don't know that, do you? How much they get?
No. Well, I think it's all on what position you finish, isn't it? The higher you finish, the more money you get. So I don't think you get anything extra for winning the playoffs, do you? Isn't that just all split between the clubs? I thought.
It might be, yeah.
I don't know.
There won't be much split between the clubs, though, will there? With only 10,000 there. No. Shazza Harvey's here. Hello, Shazza. Hi, guys.
Hey, Shazza.
Hey, we've got no game to stress you with today. In fact, if anybody's watching.
It's other game.
The other game?
Yeah.
Keep us informed. David Skull says, never since the Cardiff game have I been so confident of a win. It is our destiny to return to the level we belong. There is not one player or coach I would swap with the opposition up the pool. I've got to admit, we have got a great side, but it's a final. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
We could just get somebody sent off.
Yeah, it could have a dodgy decision, or they've got that ginger one that we don't like, haven't they? And he might.
Yeah, the one that took out Maxi in the first minute last time. Yeah, we don't like him.
Could get a bit tasty. It's an Appleton team as well, isn't it? So it could get feisty. Oh,
we've got Jake already in. He's already here.
Oh, you're keen.
Just seen him. We'll bring him in for you. Let's go through the comments, then we'll bring Jake in. Red Room says he's just seen it, Jane. Costa Child said it's sold out event today. Watching the fans celebrate the goals going in, even the away fans, is such a breath of fresh air. Yes,
wow, there's away fans as well.
Wow, that's quite incredible.
Interesting. Yes, of course, there's going to be two sets of fans at our match as well, which is going to be different from the playoff, which was very strange, having like no reaction at all to the Oxford goals.
Yeah, Leon's saying we won 90 million for winning the Championship playoffs, but that wasn't actually from the Championship playoffs. That was from the revenue from going in the Premier League.
Yeah, so that's the answer to a different question, isn't it? It's the answer. The question that you're asking is what TV money do you get from the Championship? I'm guessing, which I don't know.
Yes, well, it should be about 5 million, I think it is for the Championship. I think you get an extra 5 million in there, but actually, the prize for winning the playoffs, I don't think you get anything, although you do waive that fee, don't you, when the club that wins the Championship playoff gives the money. I'm sure it's the gate receipts you get. I'm not quite sure, but
no, I thought it was all split between all the clubs in the division.
Ryan Dummer says, as I said on Twitter yesterday, Jane tackles the imp video because the title had images of Jane running in a shot and slide tackle has read him. Yes. Well, I didn't
want to damage him really, but he was in such a state when he turned up. He got his ear was chipped and his back was all chipped, and I've been taking great care of him, to be honest.
David Scholes is correcting me. He says that destiny is impossible to mess with. It's going to happen. It's destiny. And Callum Hayes says, who do we think will win between Swansea and Brentford? I want Brentford to win, if I'm being honest. Right,
well, this impacts on who we may be playing next season. So I would rather go to Brentford's new ground, I think. So Swansea can go up in that case.
Okay.
Do you agree?
I just feel a bit sorry for Brentford. They've had a few goes at it, and I think they ought to. I think you're right about this as well. Something's not quite right.
I tried to tell him, honestly. I tried to tell him. He says, they're not working. This ear doesn't work.
They're not working.
He's like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. You didn't get another pair, did you?
No, I forgot. No. I know you did tell me.
I know I did. See, there's always a technical hitch, guys. Always a technical hitch. Is that better? Is that working now?
Yeah, I can hear a little bit. Okay, let's bring Jake in.
Can you hear Jake? Is the big test.
Well, the thing is, can I hear anybody? Let me just, I just need to do something here, and then we'll get him in. So put that in there, and then bring Jake in. Here he is.
Hello.
Yes, I see what you mean. It's just through one headphone.
Yes, honestly. I told him this like 10 minutes before we went on air.
I've just got one headphone, but I can hear.
It's not good enough.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough, Lee.
No, that's wonderful. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Yeah, don't worry about it. Hi, Jake Tong.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm.
Got your ticket? We're here.
Oh yes, I have. Yeah, I'm bricking it though. I'm bricking it quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, I think we all are. That's natural, mate.
Part of the course.
I think you're the favourite, so I think you guys should be a bit more. You shouldn't be as scared as what we are.
We're not scared. When we are kind of used to it. We've done this a lot.
It's not, to be honest, it's weird. It's not particularly scared because, you can either win or you can lose. That's it. At the end of the day, it's nothing to be scared of. The thing you get scared of is how depressed it's going to make you through the summer. For me anyway, dreading the journey back if we lose, because that's
the main problem I have.
It's horrible, honestly, driving back when you've lost and it's all going through your mind. And I've had it before. We lost to West Ham last time, and I was I couldn't believe that we lost to West Ham because we were so good, and we battered and we played them off the park, and to lose, and I just couldn't stop moaning all the way home. Really,
this is exactly what I'm dreading.
I was like, I can't believe we've lost. I just don't believe Allardyce has beaten us. I can't believe, I didn't know the game was, I didn't even know we were in the last couple of minutes when he equalised because we were so on top. I wasn't even looking at the clock, which I was doing against Cardiff. I was looking all the time against Cardiff. I never stopped watching the clock. It never moved. But against West Ham, we were so in control that I just never even knew what time it was. And when they scored, there was about 2 minutes to go, and I couldn't believe it. And it just kept going over and over and over and over in my mind. And then the whole summer was just kind of not ruined, but you know what I mean? It kind of, it's weird. The up doesn't last as long as the down.
It does.
It doesn't.
It does.
It doesn't. You're more.
Don't listen to him, Jake, because
I'm always down along.
When we got promoted to the Premier League, every time I got in the lift at work and pressed the button and it said going up, I was like, and that was like for ages afterwards.
I'm dreading moving in with you guys if we get that's off. That can be off.
Yeah, so it is. So there is that stress, mainly because of that. However, it's just a case of I don't mind, and I say this loads of times, if Lincoln smashes 4-0 and you kind of deserve to win and it's just a one way, and you just deserve to lose and the best team wins.
It's not going to happen.
I can live with that. What I can't live with is really dodgy decisions going against you, and all, that's what really gets to me. And if you play really well and lose, that's really bad. So I hope whichever way it is that whoever wins deserves it. You know what I mean? So you can come away and say, well, God, Lincoln deserved that today. They were amazing, or we deserved it. Whichever way. I want it to be that sort of fair result and not be like moaning about a referee not giving you a penalty or, sending a player off or just some controversial decision.
I don't really want one of your players thinking about that ginger one specifically, but one of your players doing something to one of our players. That's what I don't want, because I don't want that. I don't want that needle.
Or even one of ours doing something to yours.
They're good boys, they won't do.
We can't. Well, so would Lincoln City. I'm sure Jake will defend them as they're good boys.
That one who took out Maxwell. He wasn't a good boy.
Oh, God.
We haven't forgotten that.
No. She's not forgotten about that because you injured. You nearly took the legs off her favourite player.
And Oxford did it as well, didn't they?
Yeah, Oxford also had a go at him as well.
Should we let Jake speak?
Yes, go on. We'll let you speak, Jake. Go on.
I actually had a question for you guys.
Oh,
go on.
I posed this to the guys on the Seasiders pod last night about Dan Ballard because I've heard he might be injured. So. What do you think? Do you think he'll start? Do you think he'll play? Do you think Ballard will, or do you think you'll bring someone like Equiteta in or play husband?
He's definitely injured. I don't think he'll be playing.
I think.
Don't start this, please.
I don't mind who plays because they're all capable of doing a job. We've got people who can cover. You look at us at the back. We've got the two Dans out, but we've got Ekpiteta, we've got Husband who can play there. We've got Ollie Turton can play there. We've got Jordan Thornley who's covered really well all season. So I don't mind really. I'm not concerned if Dan Ballard is out. It'd be great to have him in. But if he's not there, someone else will slot in just nicely. So it's not a worry I got.
I totally disagree on this. Totally.
If it was Jerry Yates or Chris Maxwell,
I'm not agreeing with the words you're saying here. I've got to be honest. I'm really not. Dan Ballard Dan Ballard is like, he's just immense. He's just the best centre half we have, and if he's out, we're weakened by him not being in. If he's not
Nonsense.
fit, you've got to be kidding me. He's
poker face, Jane. Look.
He has
poker
been,
face.
Ekpiteta came on and
Ekpiteta.
before he was injured.
How good's he? How good's Ekpiteta?
Yeah, he was.
Is.
No, he was.
No, don't start laying into our play.
I'm not laying into him. I'm just saying he's been injured for a while and he doesn't seem quite as good.
See what you've done, Jake?
He doesn't seem.
Why do we let him speak?
He doesn't seem quite the player that he was before he was injured. He wasn't 100%. I'm saying he hasn't had much chance to get match fit, and to me, I would rather at the moment. In fact, I would like Ballard and Ekpiteta. I think that's our best combination. But anybody with Ballard is okay, but we fear James' husband because he gets yellow cards and red cards.
He's
so
ace.
We fear him. Yes, but people do fear him.
About?
He's a great player, but
it doesn't matter. Hopper's going to score anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, he's the local boy, isn't he?
What do you guys think in the comments? Anyway, if Ballard is injured, do you agree with Jane? And I get where she's coming from, because all season we've changed these fullbacks. We've brought other different fullbacks in and centre halves. It's all the back four's changed numerous times because we've been injured. But out of all those players, would you want Ballard to start as a Blackpool fan?
Are you positive, Penny, or negative, Nigel?
Oh, I would pay to be in this car on the way. I would pay for
negative, Nigel. Shazza Harvey says Ballard is fit. Red Room says slap him, James. Ryan Dunbar says argue in our camp before the game's even started.
You don't want to be
We're on, John, but here we are. Get this up quickly. I completely agree with Lee. Ballard is a rock in defence and will be a massive miss if injured. Ekpiteta has missed a lot of games and he's not 100% fit. I think he's fit, but he's not 100% match fit, I think we would say. I think Brentford have gone 1-0 up as well, for anybody who wants to know that. Swansea could do with a Ballard or an Ekpiteta all over the place. I'm happy with either, but I prefer Ballard. Yes, I think everybody will. But I'd like Ballard and Ekpiteta. That would be my dream centre half. I think they're the two best players, but Thornley's done really well.
Thornley's done great.
Thornley's done great. Husband has got a lot better since the start of the season. Let's put it that way. It cost us the game against Lincoln, but I don't think it was actually him. I think it was a bad pass across to him.
You're doing what Sunderland did in our playoff games. No credit that we actually came and scored 3 goals. Oh, we threw it away. We were rubbish, and never mind the fact that we actually scored 3. The 2 goals that you scored against us. I was fuming, but
but you got 2 bloody penalties. You didn't, we didn't give you them. Yes, of course they were. I'm not disputing the fact, Jake, that they were penalties. They were nailed on penalties. But the second one that we gave you was just ridiculous. We just can't get over what actually happened.
I suppose what Lee's perhaps trying to say here is that earlier on in the season we were making mistakes. Our defence were doing silly things and giving away penalties and things like that, and players were getting sent off, whereas we've stopped that from happening now.
Since Colin Calderwood came in, we've kind of cured that
we've
problem.
had nobody sent off.
We got worse.
We hardly get anyone. But to be honest, if we hadn't had those few sendings off at the start of the season, I think we might be up for the Fair Play Award. That's how dramatically it's changed.
We haven't actually lost one single player who's had to miss a game for
suspension. No.
For suspensions. We haven't had any.
Apart from those sendings off earlier in the season.
We haven't got to anybody.
4 red cards then tomorrow.
Yeah, no,
that is the worry. But I mean, we did get worse. I mean, we went to AFC in Wimbledon and had 2 players sent off. We got down to 9 men, so it was really getting quite worrying. And
but they've dealt with it. Any issues that we have, they do deal with, which is lovely. And players do, when they get booked now, they might get taken off, or they might just rein it in a little bit and
but then you
manage it themselves.
But then you look at the Oxford game, and the husband could have got sent off, in the first, couldn't he? He could have done. I thought he got a little touch on the ball, but on another day, he could have gone.
That shows how far he's advanced in that he
can do it.
He's managed it himself, hasn't he? He's got booked once, and he's not gone that far.
Did he manage to get a little touch on the ball that didn't get sent off? Anyway, so we've been we've been kind of Lincolnized over the last few days, as you probably know. We had, we had the Lincoln BBC Radio Lincoln coming to Blackpool with the imp that they brought. They took him everywhere, up the tower. Jane shooed him back, obviously, put a tangerine scarf on him, which they called orange.
Yeah,
and so
I did do them down for that. I said, it's like only a slight difference, but maybe you're not developed enough in Lincoln to notice the difference between orange and tangerine, but it's clearly tangerine.
We didn't get the actual proper thing, which where they said that the mighty imp, and Jane was like, mighty? He's not as tall as me, and I'm only small.
You should see the real one. He's only about that big in the top corner of the cathedral.
Yeah, we saw him. Jane.
I went to the cathedral when I come down last January, and there's like a telescope thing, isn't there, that you can look up at him, but it was broken, so I basically took a photo and zoomed in, and I managed to get him on the zoom on my camera, but he's impossible to see pretty much, isn't he, with the naked eye.
And we've infiltrated Blackpool, haven't we, with the zoo. We had
the
zoo
and
Lincoln the llama.
Well.
Yeah, that was funny.
Win your heads.
Yeah, the sea lions playing with the Lincoln City football. It's very funny.
It's been really funny, actually, and Jane loves that. The guys on the BBC Lincoln breakfast show. They're really up for a good fun, aren't they?
Oh, it's a really, really good show. Honestly, I could listen to that every morning, but depending on what happens on Sunday, I might not want to. But it's really, really good show.
I heard you last night as well, Jane, on the Friday night football.
Oh God! Honestly, folks, you need to listen to this, because honestly, I get so upset all the time that Jane always gets on the radio and I never do. She's on radio all the time, and they never ever speak to me or Lee, do you want to come on the radio? And my big moment happened on Radio Lincolnshire last night. But basically, they stitched us up because they'd recorded the audio at the end of the two Lincoln games, and me particularly,
when he gets like
having a meltdown. So my one and only appearance on radio has been me having a meltdown on my channel, which I thought, that's just bloody typical, my big moment, and that's all I get. So if you do get a listen to, I think it's in Jane's
on my Twitter, there's a link to it.
Yeah, it's on Jane's Twitter, and it's also in your blog as well, isn't it, where you put the link to it, so you can listen to me. I think it's from about 30 odd minutes in, but you can listen to my first ever debut on live radio, and it's a recording of me having an absolute crisis on the radio. So.
I think Ben sent me the exact same clip, because I was at work, and Nathan sent me the exact same. He screen recorded it and sent me it. Absolutely fantastic.
David says, because I'm a miserable bugger. That's right. Brentford are now 2-0 up. Blimey.
Wow.
So we're going to Swansea next season then. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's looking like Brentford are going to win. I actually thought I should have put a bet on Brentford. I thought they would win, actually. I just thought they were too good for, they are a really cracking side. Callum Hayes says, don't let Jake get into your head, you two. I promise we'll only mock you for a bit, Jake, when we beat you tomorrow.
Ryan's asking what is an imp. Could you explain, Jake, what the imp is and its significance?
What the hell is an imp? Explain it to us.
It's like a little devilish creature from hell, isn't it? It's basically, the story goes, he came to Lincoln in, I think it was in 1500 or something like that. And he absolutely caused carnage throughout the town. He started wrecking things, and then they managed to chase him into the cathedral, and he got stuck up the top there, which is why he's there now. And that's why we are so famous for exactly. So that's the story. He said he sort of came and caused chaos, which hopefully we're going to do tomorrow. So it's a good omen. But no, it's quite good, especially for a history buff a bit like myself, and it's just good to have something that, relative, back to the 1500s, not many people can even remember that. I mean, well, probably because we weren't alive, but
Yeah, no, it's quite amazing. Jane obviously went to Lincoln. You've probably seen the video where she met the guy outside, and he was explaining that your cathedral used to be the tallest building in the world at one time, didn't it? The spires were, at that time in the 1500s, and it really was a lovely place. We found the Doctor Who TARDIS, didn't we, there in Lincoln? And
can I ask you another question, Jake? What's a yellow belly?
A yellow belly is someone that is born in Lincolnshire. So there's not like a, I suppose, because a lot of people, basically what it is a lot of people that were born in Lincolnshire trying to escape it, because there's not really a lot to do here. It's a bit sparse, a bit dry. but we're called yellow bellies. I have absolutely no idea why, but everyone that's born in the Shire, as we call it, is a yellow belly, especially those like on the fens and that sort of thing. But Lincolnshire has a lot of people that are from outside of Lincolnshire come and live here. So I'll probably be surprised if you don't end up making the move here yourself. Given Jane's obsession.
Yeah, she loves it.
Is it like a redneck?
Yeah, it's similar. It's similar because we all talk. I think from the outside point of view, we're all a little bit simple. With a pitchforks and a lawn mowers and sausages and plum bread. So,
they're great sausages and plum bread.
Yeah, you can't get plum bread anywhere else, but in Lincoln, and Jane loves the plum bread.
I do. I love it.
The co-op. The co-op do. I saw someone tagged you in a photo on Twitter, Jane, of the Gadsby's one, and that is amazing. I used to eat it all at work all the bloody time. It's probably why I've got a bit of a belly now.
Fingers crossed he'll bring some to Wembley for me on tomorrow.
Oh, no pressure. I'll go get.
That's your mission. Yes, that's your mission for your video. You got to find Jane a plum bread and bring it to Wembley for our video, which would be brilliant. So we're definitely going to meet Jake outside the ground before the game. We probably won't be able to meet him after because if Lincoln win, we'll be out of the stadium before you can say, we won't be stood there watching you celebrate because you just don't. Honestly, you can't take it. I've been there loads of times. You just got to go because it's just too painful. Yeah. And
if you win, you just want to stay there for it. You don't want to leave. You want to watch the trophy being lifted and everything.
And all the songs, and nobody goes home. And you're there for probably an hour or so after the game, so nobody's going to wait around for Lincoln to come out. Or you won't wait around for all Blackpool to come out because it is just it is really quite painful, as we know. Brentford almost 3-0 apparently. Hit the bar. Ryan Dunbar says that's interesting. You didn't know about that. Callum Hayes.
I actually do have the story I bought. There's a book that they sell in the Cathedral shop that tells you the story of the imp. I've been looking for it last couple of days and I don't know where it is. I could have read that to you. It's in verse. It's really good. I remember buying it and reading it to my friend in the pub.
Callum Hayes says a quick one for Jake. Apart from the lad from Forest, do Lincoln have any players on loan that you want to keep?
All of them.
How many have you got on loan in the team? How many
we've got Johnson from Forest, Rogers from Man City, Palmer from West Brom, Morton from West Brom, and then Ayoma from Spurs. And I'd like us to keep all of them because they're all probably bar Morton. Morton's struggled a little bit, but he received a shoulder injury right at the start of the year, so he's not really played. But Palmer, fantastic goalkeeper. Ayoma, really good defender. I mean, played basketball in our penalty box against you guys at the bank. Don't get me wrong. But absolutely fantastic, cool, composed, and then Morgan Rogers, who will, you've probably seen snippets of him this season. He'll go on and play for England, I've got no doubts. And then, I know he said Barbara and Johnson, but Johnson's the one we really want to keep. But we're going to lock him away, just like you guys are with Gabriel and Ballard, just so that Forest
it's quite
no
surprising.
Returning next year.
It's just quite surprising because we both got a player on loan from Forest, and we both can't basically believe how good these players are. I think he's your favourite player, isn't he? And Gabriel, I wouldn't say he's our favourite player, but he's up there as one of our favourite players. And either one of the Forest have struggled, and you think, why? They've lent these two players, and they're obviously fantastic, aren't they? So
we had
I don't know what Forest are doing.
We had Tyler Walker last year from Forest.
Did you?
He didn't score against you lot, I don't think. But he scored 17 goals before Christmas, and they recalled him on the very last day of the window. So they've got really good players in that academy. I think they've just got a Category 1 professional academy this week. So they've got some good players, and we'll be locking Johnson away if we can.
We don't want to send ours back either. We're going to lock him away, but Gabriel is a good player.
Ellis Sims, we've got to keep. He's
Ellis Sims. We don't. If I'm being honest, we can't see us keeping him really. We may get him back for another season's loan, but he is actually now good enough to go on. I think he's good enough to play for Everton's first team, but it's whether they want to, it's whether they think he is, whether they think another year of development, would, or maybe they'll loan him sort of, with an option to recall him. So if he's banged loads of goals in by December,
because he's scoring basically a goal every other game for us now, which is pretty amazing, really.
It is. I mean, when we got him, he'd been scoring a goal a game for the youth. He actually won, a goal a game. He played 50 games and 51 goals or something. So he was quite prolific. But of course, everybody was saying, can he make the step up to, proper football? And he came on and scored 2 goals in his debut, didn't he? But then he kind of...
And we got a bit overexcited about
him. Yeah, we did.
We do.
I mean, we're already winning 3-0. It was against Wigan and we were only 3-0 up, so he just came out at the end. But he could have actually had a hat-trick in 10-minute spell because Wigan had gone, you know what I mean? They're just completely gone, which is a great time to come on as a striker, really, isn't it? When they're beaten and, they've got nothing left to... But, he's got better and better. And through the playoffs, he's looked, proper dangerous. So, we have got...
What about Yates? Because obviously there's interest, isn't there? I know Forest are sniffing about, and Bristol City as well. Could, even if you guys go up, you might have to sell it if you want to go.
It's part of our business plan, really, going forward, is to develop players and sell them on for quite a lot more than we bought them for. So I don't know how much we paid for Jerry Yates. I don't even know if
it was
they
a couple of 100,000. I think
it
was 200,000.
If we can get a ridiculous sum for him, then it is going to happen. We're going to develop players to sell them on. We have to do that to survive. So it would be a shame to see him leave, but we would have that money to reinvest then and we'd have other players coming up, and we don't know who we've got. Well, we've got Brad Holmes, haven't we, coming up, who's really prolific for the academy. So he'll be stepping in at some point, you would hope.
But the thing is,
it's always sad to lose good players, but it's just you've kind of just got to accept that is going to happen, whether it happens with Yates this summer or another point.
Yeah. But I was saying to Jane that every club at the end of the day, there's no club in the world doesn't sell players.
Yeah.
Even Man United and Chelsea and Man City will sell players in the end if they're going to, get a good return on. Look, Harry Kane at Tottenham, players move on, and every club hopes that they buy a player for a certain amount and sell him for a lot more money and make a profit on him, which is something the Oystons never seem to see players as like assets that could be developed and sold and made money of. They just always gave them really short contracts, and they just basically they were a debt, a liability, weren't they, rather than an asset. And we're bound to lose him in the end. We can't keep him forever because someday and if we did get into the Championship and he'd have got 20 goals by Christmas or something, somebody big's going to come in for him, you know what I mean? So we'll lose him one day, but at the moment we hope not. Peter McCormick says, I've arrived in the Big Smoke. Fucking London, he said. There's some sort of demonstration going on. Oh, Seaside Aggro, Blumneck, it's already turned up. There's a demo in London.
Do you know what colour kit you're playing in, Jake?
Black.
Oh, is it? It was a naughty.
Black.
Because we're the away team, I think, aren't we?
Yes. Oh, well, it's going to be a hot day. It's not a good place.
No, you don't want to be in black.
No teams got promoted in red and white stripes and black shorts, so I'm sort of glad we're not playing in the home kit.
Okay.
Well, we played QPR first game of the season. It was like a really, really hot day.
In black.
A few years ago now, we played in black, and I think we lost about 5-0. It was just a ridiculous colour to wear when it's
really hot, yeah, but it's not so hot today, so you never know.
But I think it's gonna be 22 in London tomorrow.
Right,
brilliant.
Because when we played Cardiff, it was like ridiculously hot, and they had they even showed a picture on the TV of the temperature, and it was about 104 inside the stadium. It was like ridiculous, yeah.
21
talking about that.
Yeah,
21 will be okay.
21 high, low of 8.
Is it
sunny? A little bit of cloud.
It could be okay.
Might take a little cardi.
Dom Clark says he was a naughty angel that was turned to stone because of his behaviour. So that's he was a naughty angel.
Certainly was.
Dom Clark says the uniforms of the Lincolnshire Regiment.
Oh, is that the yellow belly?
1685. Is that some reason? Dom,
sounds about right. Sounds about right. I'm a bit too young for all the some of these old.
Shazza Harvey's also. Shazza Harvey's pointing out that Lincoln will be playing in their black kit, and it will be a hot day. So not pull a keen.
We beat you in the black kit.
Yeah, but it wasn't a hot day.
It wasn't a hot day.
Callum Hayes says Everton have Richarlison, is it? Calvert-Lewin and King. So hopefully we can keep him for another year. Well, they have got, some pretty good strikers, haven't they, Everton? So Shazza Harvey says Yates is worth at least 5 million.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it certainly is. Red Room says it's the Moneyball model, like Brentford. Yeah, you've got to develop, and you've got to have a youth academy, and you've got to bring it up. Do you have a decent youth academy at Lincoln, Jake?
Well, yeah. Obviously, we had the cup run that was so famous a few years ago. Paid for an elite performance training centre so that we've got now, and the academy. Well, we've sort of turned our focus to Ireland, and we've signed a lot of like Republic of Ireland youth internationals, and one of them, probably the jewel in the crown, is on trial at Chelsea at the minute. So we're really proud of him, and if he goes to Chelsea and makes us a big buck, then fair play, and hope he has a good career. But he sort of started the season and then he couldn't get back in because we played Aidan there, but really good footballer. Obviously, if he's going to go to Chelsea and earn the club some whack, but we've got quite a few sort of international youth players dotted about, so it's good considering 5 years ago we were in the conference and we had all the funding cut from the academy. So it's Jez George. I'm not sure. Well, you might not know Jez George. He was at Cambridge for a long time, their manager, and he's come in as a director of football and head of academy, and he's been phenomenal with the recruitment, and we've sold some on. So,
right,
yes, got some good players.
What do you think of Appleton in Lincoln, and how long has he been there? Just explain to us when Appleton came, because obviously Blackpool fans, experienced Appleton for a few weeks before he left. But what do you think of Appleton?
So Appleton arrived in, oh God, you're really testing my knowledge. I want to say October 2000. Was it 18? 18.
I know 18? It's kind of weird because you've lost the season. You can't actually quite remember when about it was when you were playing football.
So this is 2021, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes.
So 1920. So he came in 2019. So it's just over. It's nearly 2 years.
Right. Okay.
He came in after the Cowley brothers, obviously, who were so successful and were literally, heralded as gods, like Graham Taylor was when he was at Lincoln.
Sure. Where did the Cowley brothers go from
Huddersfield.
Lincoln? I went to Huddersfield. Right.
Kept them in the Championship and got sacked, but obviously he's now at Portsmouth, so they'll do well next year, you'd have thought. But yeah, we came in sort of October sort of time. Lost to Oxford on the first game 6-0. He was sat in the stands, and then obviously we had quite a bit of player turnover in the January window just before you guys came down to Lincoln. I think we signed about 10 or 11 players in the window and sold the same amount. So, and then the rest is history. He's cold on the touchline, a bit like Critchley. I think he doesn't really show his emotions as much on the touchline, but up here they're just so clever, aren't they? The pair of them. I think I was reading yesterday, Critchley's got like a qualification that only 6 other managers in the world have got. So
exactly, yeah.
I think it's going to be whoever can hold their nerve the best. 2 really, really good managers. Obviously, Appleton's done it at the top level with Leicester. He was there at Leicester, and Critch at Liverpool. So really excited, but really thankful we've got Appleton, because it's not very often you have one good thing followed by another, and we're sort of riding the crest of the wave. Obviously, you'd hope the same for Blackpool. If Critchley was to move on, you'd get someone of similar ilk. So yeah, we really like Appleton. Obviously, I heard yesterday from Gary Taylor Fletcher, that he wasn't very well. I think he moved to Blackburn, didn't he? He went straight from the Oystons to the Venkies,
which was a strange move.
And then he obviously was at Pompey as well, and they were in administration. So we really like him. The Big Apple, we call him. And I think he's sort of he's loving it. Hopefully, he's here for another 4 years at least. So so fingers crossed he can take us up.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good match tomorrow, really. I mean, both the clubs are in a brilliant position and going in the right direction. Both got really good managers. Both, should arguably have got promoted automatically. So it's going to be a really, really interesting contest. And
it's going to be a tough one.
It will be interesting to see how it goes.
Be sad to not see you next year, though. Be really upset not to play Blackpool next year.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to go either way, hasn't it? We can't play each other next season. Whoever gets promoted, we're going to be in different divisions, whatever happens. So we won't get to play you. Which Jane's sad because she was looking forward to the away day to Lincoln, weren't you? But we still might come over and do something.
I'm going to come down and do the Imp Trail anyway in the summer. So.
Come on, you want to come down as well, Lee, don't you?
Yeah, of course I do. I've not been since that fateful
92,
day.
Yeah.
I've never been back. It still traumas me now. Losing at Lincoln when we just needed a point to get automatic. But anyway, it all came out well in the end, so it doesn't really matter. And it gave us one of the greatest memories of all time, the penalty shootout and Bamba to win at Wembley after, the disaster and everything was just great. And so I suppose we kind of thank Lincoln really for an amazing memory. Toonami TV is here. Hi, Sharky. He says, good luck at Wembley. Make the best side go up tomorrow. And just for you, Jake, Sharky is a great Newcastle YouTuber that you want to get to know because he's fantastic and he comes on our show quite a lot. So thanks, Sharky, for that. James Sharky is called. And definitely follow him, guys, on YouTube as well if you haven't already. Leon John Butterworth says, how do they determine a home team at Wembley? Is it alphabetical, coin toss, or highest position?
I think it's highest position.
Right, yeah. So probably that's why we're the home, which would make sense really.
Yes, the pool should be in.
What's this from Dom Clark? Dom Clark says Rowan played against Blackpool. Is it?
That's the guy who's at Chelsea.
Ah, okay.
He played left back that day. I would have thought. Really.
Oh, against
really
Blackpool under 23s, I think he means, does he? I think that would mean.
No. He played. If I can remember right, he played left back in the game.
Oh, in the game.
Road.
Oh, and we lost 2-3. Right. Okay.
Well, when we won 3-2, yeah.
James Biddles is here. He's in your corner. Can see some goals tomorrow. Come on, Lincoln, with a red, white, and a red ball there. So
I've been predicting 3-2 to Blackpool, but I don't know. It could be even, and it could be penalties. And I think if it does go to penalties, you wouldn't bet against us with Maxwell saved so many this season. So that will be in our favour, I think. How's your keeper on penalties, Jake?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I think we beat Hull in the pizza trophy on penalties. Obviously, we lost to Sunderland on penalties. So, obviously, we've got some good penalty takers. George Grant missed one against Sunderland, but I'd be confident. But I don't think it's going to need penalties. I think one of the two teams are going to win it in 120 minutes, just to draw the agony out a little bit longer.
Penalties at Wembley is
horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible at any time, but at Wembley, it's really bad.
I mean, we had penalties 2 successive years. We played in 1991 and we lost on penalties, and then we went back in 92, like the season after, and it went to penalties again, and there were so many people just could not watch after the previous year. So it was strange, all growing because I didn't go in 91. I went in 92 and I'm like, what's the matter with everyone? And like literally at least half the crowd just couldn't watch.
I watched, and when that fifth one flew over the bar, honestly, it went absolutely mental. It just went absolutely mental. ZA says he might stick a bet on, and then he's further down. He's asking for predictions. He's going to give half to Chatty. Well, I'm just, you're not having it. We don't talk about betting on this channel at all. So don't be telling us you're betting Blackpool. Just keep it to yourself.
Bet Blackpool. Bet on Blackpool.
Just don't. Just do not back Blackpool. Don't want to hear that. I just don't want to hear that. Toonami says, appreciate that, guys. Yeah, you're most welcome. If we could have got him in for a Newcastle point of view of the of what they think who's going to win. So that would be interesting. Maybe. I
assume he enjoyed the Shearer celebration that Hopper did at the Stadium of Light.
Yes, we could all laugh at Sunderland together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, oh God.
I know. I feel bad for them actually.
I do.
Do you feel sorry for them?
For the fans, yeah. They're not all,
You didn't feel sorry for them at all. I mean, we've watched
just
Sunderland
in case
till I
there's any
die.
Watching.
We've watched Sunderland till I die, and you did get a little bit of affection for them because
they're
of
genuine people.
They are genuine people, but for some reason, during this run in, some are. I don't think they all are, but some have got this, real. We are a Premier League side. We should be in the Premier League.
Yeah, I don't like that because I had that when I lived in Walsall. All the Wolves fans were like that. Like, I'm like, you're not, and they just kept going on about, we're Premier League, we belong in the Premier League, and. It's just I don't like it.
I mean, they are a big club. I mean, you watch Sunderland till I die, and you see all the the training facilities they've got. and the size of the stadium. I remember, they were arranging a Christmas match, weren't they? Well, the New Year's Eve, whatever it was, and they were trying to break the record, and they got, I don't know, 53,000 in or something to break the record. And so it's a massive ground. I can't even imagine, a ground the size of 53,000, to be honest. So they are a massive club, but unfortunately, they're down in League One, and they're shopping in the bargain basement with everybody else. So they're not, even though they are a Premier League outfit, from the outside, from the playing staff side, they're not, and they can't afford to play Premier League wages because nobody can in this division. So they're just, they've got to just treat themselves as a League One club. And,
anyway, they're so last season.
Yeah, it is so last season.
Yeah.
We'll move
Lincoln,
on.
Sunderland, come on.
Oh, Toonami is available. Should we put a little?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
we'll send in the link.
We'll give you a link in the chat.
So you've got the Lady Imps coming on, Jane. Is that right?
Yeah, they're coming on at 4:00.
Oh, we'll just
nice people, some really nice. They do. When we had the Cowley brothers in, they put on an event, Cowley versus Cowley. It was like a question of sport. Oh, it was at the Engine Shed. I'm not sure if you've been to the Engine Shed in Lincoln before.
No.
It was amazing. They did it was like a question of sport. They had some players. They had 2 Lincoln legends, and then they had the parents involved. It was amazing. Honestly, it was fantastic. I managed to get to both of them, fortunately, and
that's brilliant.
Makes me think of the Cowley brothers, and I'm probably going to start crying in a minute.
Oh God! I mean, yeah.
So why did they leave? What happened?
They just poached, were they?
Obviously that we were top of the league at the time.
Oh no!
They went, and Huddersfield were a mess, weren't they? And we'd just beaten Huddersfield a few weeks before in the Carabao Cup at Huddersfield, so I think that meant they were fresh in the mind. And then, when somebody offers to, put your salary up by tenfold, I think you'd be stupid to turn it down.
Yeah.
So
it is. It's money talks, doesn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, we've got Sharky coming in. We've got our Newcastle fan Sharky coming in. So I don't think you met James before, have you? So we'll bring him in. Good afternoon, Toonami TV. How are you, Sharky?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Jake.
Hello, mate, you all right?
Yes, not too bad. It's the first time I think I've been on this channel.
Yeah, on the show. Yeah, you've not been on the show before, have you? But you've been on the channel before. You've been on the FVP, haven't you? So
yes,
you've been on the Football Vloggers.
We're expecting a thank you for knocking their Mackhams out.
Oh, do you know what? I was watching it and I was just laughing my head off. Like nothing to Lincoln. I was just absolutely loving it. Some of the comments I was getting at half time. Well, what you're saying now, it's now back to 2-2 aggregate. Oh, Lincoln have got no chance. Oh, you're laughing at us, and we're going to make it to the final and we're going to get into the championship. And I tell you what, when that was a Tom Hopper, I think that's his name.
Hopper.
When he did that Shearer celebration, oh man, he's our future player. Honestly, I was loving it, absolutely loving it. But honestly, if you beat Sunderland and keep them in League One, that'll do me perfectly. Because I think Jane mentioned it as well. The Wolves, that they're quite demanding on that they want to be in the Premier League. They're this, that, and the other. For me, they're a long way off the Premier League. I think they're more. And I'll say, as a Newcastle fan, I don't even think they're a Premier League club. I think they're more Championship.
They are now at the moment. I think we were discussing this before, James, that they've got themselves so low down that now they're shopping in the same, the bargain basement of players, which we all shop in down here because you can't afford Premier League players. You haven't got the revenue streams coming in. So their team is a League One team. That's it. And until they get back into the Championship, they can't start bringing in Premier. I always think if you're in League Two, if you can get League One players and set yourself up with players that are too good for League Two, you'll get into League One. And the same, if you get into League One, you've got to try and start getting players who are good enough to play in the Championship, who can then get you out of League One into the Championship. And I think it's the same thing in the Championship. If you can get players that are ready and good enough to play in the Premier League, then you've got a chance of getting in the Premier League. And it's just, and when it goes the other way around, where you're going backwards, you fall back down the leagues. And I just think Sunderland are just at our level, and they've just got to accept that they're not Premier League at the moment until they get themselves out of this league, and they've got to treat themselves as a club and try and get out of this league as a League One club.
I suppose it's hard mentally, though. I mean, I sort of experience this with Blackpool fans who maybe 20, 30 years older than me who remembered Blackpool being in, at the top levels before. And it's not something I ever remembered. When I started watching Blackpool, they were at the bottom of Division 4 as it was then. And so I never really understood people saying it wasn't good enough that Blackpool were at that level because they'd known something else. So I kind of do get it. If you're young and you grow up watching your club at that level, do you always think that you should be at that level? It's not something I've ever experienced, and I've seen us in the Premier League, but that was just like so weird. It was unbelievable. It's not. I never felt that we belonged there, and never would. But it'd be nice to see us in the Championship, and I think we could do a battle there. But I kind of get, I suppose, the mentality thinking about it. If it's something they've been used to for so long, how do you train your brain something different than actually being down here is okay?
It's definitely weird. I mean, my dad always used to say that Blackpool were a sleeping giant because he'd obviously been to the 1953 Cup final and seen Matthews and Morty and all the rest of it. And I was brought up on stories of that team when I was a kid. Always disappeared.
He's gone.
He's lost his connection, but yeah, that's how my dad always was. And then as we became a second division team, he used to say, "Oh, we're a good second division team, but we're just not good enough to stay." Right, he's back. He's his connection. Yeah, so we're a good second division. Hi, Sharky. Sorry about that. So my dad used to say, we're a good second division side, but we're just not good enough to stay in the first division because we were bouncing. We did go up back into the first division, but that's it. It's just you have to accept where you are, don't you? So
it's better as a fan, though, isn't it? To be I'd rather be a fan of an EFL club going up and down between the divisions rather than clinging on to survival in the Premier League.
Well, James will say, "Go on, explain to us what it's like being a Newcastle fan at the moment, then, because I think you have that opinion, aren't you?"
Yeah, it's really frustrating because. I mean, I'm not one of those fans that says, that would demand to be in the top 6. The media give us all the wrong names. We demand this, we demand that. We don't. We always say at Newcastle United Football Club, we don't demand a team that wins. We demand a team that tries. And we've not had that under Mike Ashley's ownership. He doesn't really put the money in. And if he does, it's very little. And I think for us, it's frustrating because we're not really going anywhere as a club. It's just sat in mid-table, relegation battles every season. This season's a prime example of that. We've been down the bottom end all season, and it's only been as of the last international break where we started to string some results together, and we stayed in the Premier League and we finished 12th. But that's not a fair reflection on our season. I'd like to see us, push a little bit higher up the league, and I think anything higher than 10th place is a bonus for us under Mike Ashley. But it's just lack of ambition, isn't it? And I'm sure Blackpool had that as well with the Oystons. Obviously, taking all the money that he could get, he went all the way down to League Two. But now he's surely building for the future, and you've got a bit of hope.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's weird, when you say, we just finished at 12th in the Premier League. When you think there's, 92 clubs in the league pyramid, and there's 80 clubs would dream to be where you are, and yet
I don't want to say that being bad. I don't want to say that in a bad way. I understand that there's a lot of clubs that would love to be in opposition, and I'm sure you've had Leeds who've been out the Premier League for 16 years, and you've got clubs like Bolton as well, and Portsmouth, and Blackburn now. I just think for us as a club, we just want to, want to have a bit of hope. That more than anything, if you're going to stay in the Premier League, at least do something in the Premier League rather than just make up the numbers. Otherwise, then we might as well just go down to the Championship and do what we always do, win a lot of games, then get promoted again, go up and down.
Would you rather, because this is a question, I often say to people, would you prefer to go down this season and have an absolutely amazing season and win the Championship and go back up and have all the celebrations of getting back in the Premier League and everything that comes along with it, team going through the streets of Newcastle and everybody out on the streets and all that you get with the Premier League, with a promotion to the Premier League? Would you rather have that, or would you rather cling in like you are? Which would you prefer?
It's a difficult one.
If it was guaranteed, I'm not saying it's not guaranteed, but
yeah. I see where you come from. Nothing's guaranteed. No. I think for me, I'd rather just go down. And let's be honest, I was resigned to the fact we were going to go down with Steve Bruce because, like I say, I don't rate him as a manager. And it would be just good to go down to clear all the dead wood, get rid of Steve Bruce and hopefully bring in somebody better. But the question is, who's going to work under Mike Ashley? we've had that problem for 14 years. But
we
don't normally celebrate the title. Like when we win it, like, we don't do like parades or anything like that. I think it's the stature of the club. But yeah, I think it is a bit. It does become boring after a while because, as you said, you're just making up the numbers.
I always say it doesn't matter which league you're in as long as you're winning. There's something about winning football matches.
Yeah.
And when you lose to Arsenal, it's just as painful as losing to like Bristol Rovers or some, in the cup. It's just, you just want to win, don't you? As a football fan, you really need those winning moments and also to see your team playing really well. So it's exciting. If it's not, it's really hard, isn't it? And it's hard as a YouTuber, I suppose, to keep doing, vlogs and stuff when it's just not going quite well. It's difficult. Let's have a look at it.
It's like you said before about hope is very important. And if you don't have hope as a football fan, if you're just getting the same every season, then where's your motivation really to keep going? I think that must be. It's like Dor was saying, wasn't he, about Forest? They've been in the Championship for 20 years, I think. And
although he had forgotten a relegation, apparently. There was actually a relegation in there. Because Luke came on and told me, I think Dor's just forgotten about that.
Us, didn't they?
Yeah, they went.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they did go down.
But it must be like really, we've been up and down, but it's exciting, isn't it? We've been to Wembley so many times, we've been to the Millennium Stadium so many times, and it's just exciting. And you've had the odd relegation in there, but it's part of the ups and downs of football. You kind of expect it, not that it's ever nice when it happens.
Well, you've had an incredible journey, Lincoln, haven't you? Really, if you go back, to you, I don't know, Sharky's back, but if you want to tell people about Lincoln, you went down into non-league, didn't you? So we'll just explain that to people.
So we, it's been a bit of a roller coaster actually. The first year I got a season ticket with a football club was 2010, 2011, and we finished 23rd in the Sky Bet League 2, and it was it was awful. We got relegated with Stockport. You go down into a league like the Conference, like you guys, like Newcastle went into the Championship. We go right here for a year, go around the ground, have a few beers, we'll be up, we'll be fine, and then you get stuck. Like Sunderland have, like we did, and we were there for 5 years. We hadn't finished above 13th place in the Conference. It was awful going to places like Hyde, and I enjoyed my trip to Southport. It was great, but I didn't want to do it 4 times. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting actually. The lady Imps I was talking to earlier, they're going to be on shortly, and they were saying, do you think of Lincoln as a non-league club? And I'm like, well, not really, because when I started watching Blackpool in the early 90s, Lincoln were in the same division as us. And then we had our journey and we went up and we came back down again. And when we came back down again, Lincoln were there again. So in my mind, Lincoln are just where they are.
Yeah, we kind of missed your... Yeah, we didn't realise you were in sort of non-league, I suppose, because it was like the other way around, wasn't it? On this, so we were.
It's just whenever we've been here, you've always been here, so it's kind of a different.
Like you've never been out of it.
just before the ladies come in, just catch up on the comments because we haven't been into those for a while. So FK has been in, a relative of CJ Hamilton. Says he's now been to Blackpool and had a good time. Game was great too. Oh, you were there last Friday. Will you be attending tomorrow? Yes, we will. Will you?
We will. Yeah.
And I told you we were going up. Yes, well,
yeah, absolutely.
Fingers crossed. You said it all the way.
Leon thinks the score will be 2-1, a tight, cagey game, but who to? We'll have to wait and see.
They always seem to be high scoring when we're there.
It's 2-1 to somebody, but he's on the fence on that.
We score like 4 goals in these playoff finals, don't we? Historically, so it could be. We've started scoring now.
This is interesting. Steve Eckersley said, "Good afternoon. Enjoy your trip tomorrow. Unfortunately, the company Dataco dealing with the media passes rejected all applications from social media."
Well, they were at a premium, weren't they?
Have you got any more? Do you want me to go through a few, or just?
Dom saying Sunderland are League One. They're definitely, very definitely League One. Yes. Steve says no one has the God-given right to be at the top. They have to work hard and get a bit of luck to go with it. Very true. I think luck will play a part tomorrow because we're both as good as each other, I think.
Yeah. Shazza Harvey's dad was the same as mine. He was always saying the same thing, that Blackpool were a sleeping giant, and got the 53 Cup final programme with a song sheet and a pull shirt signed by Matthews. Wow, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Steve Eckersley says, for Sharky, Mike Ashley has too many fingers in too many pies in football, e.g. Rangers, etc. Did you feel that?
Well, he doesn't talk to the fans, does he? I mean, Lee Charnley, who's behind him, doesn't talk either. So we're just left in limbo as a fan base. And as Jane was saying, every supporter wants a bit of hope when you go to the games. You can win games and try and climb as high as you can. But we all know as a fan base, it's just going to be mid-table, mediocre until something changes.
Peterborough fan at TV is here. Hi, he says, hi Lee, one of you will see us next season. I want Lincoln to win because it's closer and an easier tee. But he thinks Blackpool. Oh, it's an easier team. It's closer, an easier team. Oh wow, okay.
Shazza says Newcastle's a great away day. Yes, very true. Very true.
Not if you're scared of heights.
Yeah, if you're scared of heights, St James's is not recommended.
Right, we're going to bring another guest in here as well. We've got the Lincoln ladies. Jackie Atkins will bring her in. So I don't know if you've met this lady, have you, Jake?
I think I've heard. Yeah, I know the lady. Yeah.
Hello.
Right, do you want me to head off now so you can have your chat?
It's up to you, Sharky. You can stay if you want to listen, or you can join.
I'll listen. I'll listen in the background.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Score prediction. Do you know what? I'm going to go for Blackpool 2-1. Sorry, Jake. I think it'll be a tight one, but it'll be a close one. 2-1 Blackpool.
Good man.
2-1 Blackpool.
Cheers,
but anyway, good luck.
Okay.
All the best.
Popping in.
See you later. Have a nice weekend.
And all the best to Newcastle. We'll do some
later,
stuff
nice
with you
see
sometime.
you.
Yeah, see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So hello, Jackie, and welcome, and nice to see you again. We were chatting earlier this morning. Welcome to Lee Charles TV, making, I think you were our first lady guest.
Yes.
Well, lady might be a bit of a,
So go on, tell us all about Lincoln ladies, I suppose.
Yeah, it's the Lady Imps, isn't it? So tell us all about who the Lady Imps are and what you do and how you started.
Wow, the Lady Imps and my colleague Maria, I'm sure, will be joining us very soon. Lady Imps was Maria's concept. She came up with the idea, and it was very much formed from the fact that we realised that there wasn't actually a safe environment for females to actually comment on the game. You could go onto the banter sites, but you get lambasted, and so
yes.
What do we know about football?
Exactly. I want to get in.
Home, doing the knitting,
washing up. Yeah, and all this.
How dare we be there? So really, it was made as a online social environment, so that the female supporters could vent how they felt and comment without fear of being, just ridiculed out of it. And it grew. We suddenly got 1,000 followers on Facebook.
Wow.
So we decided that perhaps we needed to make this a little bit more formal. So we made a membership, and the Lady Imp Supporters Association was formed. And we now have about 170 paid members. We still have over 1,000. The name kind of is it's not gender specific. It was just Lady Imps works well for Lisa. It's what else would you call it? So it just became Lady Imps. But we have a good male contingency as well. We're well supported. So and we get involved with things like trying to bring in and embrace the more diverse supporters. So we've done. We worked with Bradford City because of what happened with Lincoln and Bradford, the dreadful fire that took place. Mm-hmm. So we went there and we worked with some of their lady supporters. We had a fabulous day cooking, and they showed it. And then they came to us, and we took them up to the Battle of Britain Museum, and they came. We've worked with the Afghanistan and the Eastern European people around our neighbourhood, around the football ground, to try and get them involved. We always do the Kick It Out campaigns. So, we're trying to bring as many different diverse groups into the club as possible. So
that's brilliant.
And have you noticed a change in the number of the diversity of the crowd since you started up? Has that been really noticeable?
Jake's nodding. Yeah.
They've done really well. They've done really, really well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible, actually, because I was looking at the footage that you put on that the video you did for Rob Purdon and the crowd footage at the away games, and I'm looking at it, and the poem actually refers to men and women, and I'm looking at this crowd scene, and it's all men.
Yeah.
So
do the ladies travel away then? Are they away fans as well? They go to lots of away games.
We're not just homebods. We do go away. We have been up to Carlisle in the snow, where we virtually had to dig. Maria, who's just sent a message and said she can't get in. We need to sort something out there. We had to dig them out of the snow because they went off the road. So we went and picked them up and went to the game. Yes, we can travel. I haven't been to Plymouth. I didn't go down to Plymouth Argyle. I will say Plymouth on a Tuesday night.
That's proper hardcore.
I've been there, done that. Yeah, Plymouth in
not fun. It wasn't fun. We lost.
No, it's a long way. You were dreading that journey, weren't you, to Portsmouth?
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Yeah,
she's dreading it. The last game, and she was so happy that COVID came and stopped the season.
I was happy that COVID came, but
Jane often says she's actually a witch, in real life, and she reckons she brought COVID on everybody, so she didn't have to go to Portsmouth.
I accept no liability.
All right, Maria's just sent a message now, said she's ready. So I don't know whether I'll just pop a message.
Send her the link. If you send her the link, she should just follow the link and she should be able to come in.
You're going to be outnumbered, guys.
Yes, it's a Lincoln takeover, folks, isn't it? But it's interesting to see. So how are you feeling about the game, Lincoln ladies?
Yes. Here she is.
Is she in? Coming in?
We'll bring her in. There we go.
Hello.
You manage technology.
No, we have tech worries. Honestly, this is what I said to you. Coming at 4 because we'll have like tech battles ourselves before then. It takes us long enough to settle. They weren't too bad today, apart from you got your dodgy.
Well, I've noticed the Lincoln fans are all very happy and smiley. So you're all obviously confident over there in Lincoln. You're all thinking this is a shoe-in, are you, for Lincoln this year?
I don't know whether you're listening to the Brentford game, the Brentford Swansea game, but all through Talk Sport have been saying all week that no team in red and plays in red and white with black shorts has ever won. Brentford are playing in red and white with black shorts, and they're winning at the moment. So, what colour do we play in?
Yes, you do. Yes, but you're playing in black, I do believe, tomorrow. So that's
but it knows. It knows that we're going to be a red and white thing.
Well, we've had the imp in Blackpool. Radio Lancashire came down yesterday, and they've had the imp all over the place trying to, curse us, really, haven't they? Been up the tower, they've been in the Sea Life Centre, in the waxworks. Jane shooed them off, of course.
Yeah. Well, I think Lincoln doing a brilliant job, really, sort of raising the profile. It's obviously a massive game. I mean, it's a big game for us as well, but it's a massive game for Lincoln because you've not played at championship level, have you, since 1961? So I think it's wonderful that what the whole of Lincoln's getting behind the team, obviously bringing the imp to Blackpool, but also I believe the at King's Cross Station, they're all Visit Lincoln advertisement down there, isn't there? So it's wonderful that the town is getting behind the team, which is it's a very special thing, isn't it?
We've had some practice recently. I think that's what it is. We've the city itself and the way the club has promoted itself and the way the supporters celebrate the club is just so infectious. The whole city is kind of galvanized, and we see that on the shop fronts through the city, and it's just brilliant fun. Fun.
That's really lovely. I mean, I feel sad that I wasn't living in Blackpool at the time when we were in the Premier League, but what was Blackpool like at that time? You were here, weren't you?
During when
we were in the Premier League, what was the town like?
It was incredible. There was such I mean, obviously, you get in the Premier League and big clubs come, to visit you, and they bring the thousands of fans and family and everything else. And because it's Blackpool, notoriously everybody wants to come and have a weekend in Blackpool. It's one of the first teams you would look for in your fixture to see when it is. Can you come in the illuminations? Is a Pleasure Beach going to be open? That kind of thing. And of course, there was a lot of people I picked a guy up. I used to drive a taxi, and I picked a guy up, and he was picking a car up, and he was from Chelsea. He was a Chelsea fan, and he was like, he got in my car. He said, "Oh, we're coming down in about 3 weeks. We're all back. We've got 20 lads coming on a weekend. We can't wait to get to Blackpool. We've not been on the Pleasure Beach for years," and all that sort of stuff. So there was a major excitement, and also all the games were like played live in the pubs.
Yes, that was weird.
So you could go in a pub like there's the Burlington pub in Blackpool, and it was like 3 floors, and it was just, you couldn't get in. They had bouncy castles outside, they had a screen outside with barbecues going on all for these games. And now on a Saturday, you can go past the Burlington on a Saturday and there's nobody, there's one man and a dog in, so everybody was making money, and it'll be the same for you. It's just gets a bigger thing as you go up the divisions, and you're playing bigger teams. You've got Nottingham Forest coming, and it's exciting. Derby are coming, and whoever comes down from the Premier League. And
so does it feel real to you that this might actually happen tomorrow?
No. No, I'm really sorry. I think I'm a new fan. I discovered football 4 or 5 years ago, so everything is completely new to me, and so I take that on the chin. But yeah, what I know, I can see what's the immense growth of the club, the kind of pull of it, everybody getting behind it. It's what it's achieved in such a short space of time is miraculous, really. And I think even for a new fan like me, I loved it when we were non-league. I loved the experience. That's why I kind of fell in love with the club, and to see it grow. Yes, I'm massively pleased with the success, but it feels like, I don't know, it just feels
surreal.
Magical. It's surreal. Yeah, surreal. Yeah. Will it really happen? I mean, God, wouldn't it be amazing?
Cool, absolutely.
It's a fairy tale. It's a fairy tale, isn't it?
Yeah, it was the same for us when we got promoted to the Premier League. We couldn't actually, it didn't sink in. It was just so ridiculous. It took until the October before it sank in that we'd actually won at Wembley and we were actually in the Premier League. It's like you're in a dream. It's very, I imagine it will be similar for you if you win tomorrow. It's a very, very odd experience, but wonderful. And I kind of wish it for you.
Wish we were both going up, really, won't we? It's a shame that we can't both go up together because we were looking forward to. I was particularly as well because Jane went to Lincoln and I didn't go to Lincoln. I stayed at home and did the video stuff because Jane did all the away days, and I thought I'd love to go to Lincoln, so we were kind of looking forward to it this year, but of course we've not managed to do that, and now we're not going to be able to because obviously one of us is going to be up or one of us is going to stay down, so we can't be in the same division next year. But it's lovely, Lincoln. You can tell how lovely it is just by talking
you're all lovely people, and I think that for me that's what makes Lincoln, for me, everybody that I've spoken to when I've been down there, and you guys as well, you're just such genuine lovely people.
It's a welcoming place. Yeah
it is. Yeah, it is a very special place, and it's the sort of place, I mean, we've lived here 27 years, and when we first moved here, it was like, my husband said we're going to Lincoln, and I just looked at him blankly and said,
where's that?
The hell's Lincoln? Where are you from originally?
London originally. I was born on the Edgware Road, so I'm a Londoner. Yeah. Right,
okay.
But we moved here from Florida, so that was a bit of a move. But
wow.
You moved from Florida?
Yeah.
Oh wow! I love Florida as well. It's great. It's really.
Yeah.
We keep all these outsiders, Lee. We keep them and we just bring them in, and they don't leave because they don't want to leave.
Yeah, well, that's
Lincoln.
That is the thing. That's what we're getting from this. Lincoln's a very popular place. It really is.
But once you're here, you realise just what a fabulous place it is. And I've never lived anywhere for 27 years. It's always been sort of 4 years and move, 5 years. We just don't want to go from here.
No, you really like it.
Yeah.
Is there plans for the ground? Is there any plans to expand the ground? Because I know it's kind of a bit of a hiddledy-piddledy kind of mess, isn't it? If I was to say anything else.
Beautiful place, yes.
I mean, it's haunting you. You'll love it. But is there plans to expand it if you get up?
Yeah, putting a kind of another kind of level onto the Stacey West to just expand that, because they've looked at relocating the ground, and obviously huge expense. Lincoln, as a city itself, has expanded massively over the last 20 years. And so, way down the track in the future, we might move out of Sincil Bank. That'll be hugely controversial, as it always is when you're moving a club out of its kind of historic home. But we're geographically quite tied in because of the housing around it and the roads around it. So we can't physically expand anymore. And it restricts the club in terms of its kind of off-field activities and in terms of raising revenue, etc., etc. So I think that might happen way down the track now.
Right. A couple of things in the comments for you, ladies. Callum Hayes says, "What lovely ladies! Shame we're going to have to upset you tomorrow."
Are you going to make a lady imp cry? Oh dear.
Alan Douglas said, "The lady imps have the same hairdo. Is that a lady imp thing?"
We're just ladies of a certain age. That's what it is.
We'll go to the same hairdressers, do it? Is that what it is? Oh gosh, that's really good.
We'll get some variety next time. Yeah, we'll have an updo.
For the longest time, we were just all known as Lisa. It was like, yeah, you're Lisa, aren't you? No.
We have Basil here, which is the Blackpool Association of Supporters in London.
Oh, great. So we could have a Lisa and Basil date.
Yeah.
Yes. Basil!
Yes, dear. Coming, dear. So Maria, Jackie was telling us a little bit about Lisa before you came in. I believe it's your baby. So tell us about what it means to you.
So as I explained earlier, I kind of found football, or football found me 4 or 5 years ago through a new partner and my son who has always loved football but was getting to an age where he wanted to go. And I did, I took him to Sincil Bank when he was 6 or 7, and it was a fairly dire experience. It was cold and grey and we were stood on our own and I didn't know what was happening, and they played terribly, and so those experiences didn't repeat themselves. Fast forward to kind of 2016, 2017, and I went with my boys, and just it was amazing. We lost to York in an FA kind of trophy game, and the feeling was just awful. And I put all my feelings down on a Facebook page, and lots of women kind of went, yeah. And I thought, oh my God, I've discovered it. I was so excited. I loved supporting I just loved the excitement and the thrill and the emotion and all of that we know about. But I hadn't appreciated that's what football was like, because I'd grown up without football being in my family. I had no reference points. The only reference points I had for football was the results on a Saturday afternoon and news coverage of hooligans. So as a child of the kind of 70s and 80s, it was something that wasn't for me. And I kind of felt, oh my God, I hadn't realised it was really like this. And I wanted to share that excitement, I suppose, and kind of realise that actually there must be loads of women like me that have a perception about football that isn't necessarily right. And I wanted to try and kind of maybe address that in some way and say, actually, come, because it's really amazing. It's really good. Get yourselves to the ground. Don't think about what it used to be like. It is something different and much more positive. So I came from that point of view, really, and wanting to encourage more women, not to say football's got to change to accommodate women. It's about saying, actually, it's a really good place to be. Come. And that's kind of how it started. And we've evolved from that to become a bit more broad in terms of wanting to address equality and inclusion and diversity, and getting underrepresented groups that also might have those perceptions about what football is, and addressing those and kind of bringing them into the fold a bit and giving them a really good experience and saying, you can support in lots of different ways, and that's okay. There is enough room in football, however you want to support, and come and find out a little bit more. So we do that through things like through the Kick It Out campaign, the Fans for Diversity campaign. We get minority groups in and give them a match day experience.
That's fun. I think this is quite close to your heart, isn't it? I think James.
Yeah, definitely.
James is keen on this for us,
sort of
aren't you?
similar to me, really, because obviously we've got this Her Game Too movement at the moment, which is wonderful. And sort of hearing about the experiences that some girl. I mean, we've all had it, haven't we? At some level, you know, what you're doing at football, you should be doing the washing up or whatever. But for me, it's just been. I've never felt not safe at a match or watching a game in a pub. It's something that I've always enjoyed, and I've gone because I enjoy it, and I've been going for 30 years now, and it's all been wonderful. So the fact that you're addressing this as a positive thing for women to do, you know, but I also wonder if clubs like Blackpool and Lincoln are more welcoming than perhaps other clubs might be. I mean, we know that Lincoln people are lovely. I've felt blessed really at Blackpool. I've never really had any problems from being a woman. I went to a game once. There's one of the players' dads who was sat behind me, and I was talking about something. It's, oh, bloody hell, what do women know about football? And I just looked at it. I couldn't believe, because no one had said anything like that to me before.
It's never been a thing.
And then he realised in the end that actually she knows what she's talking about, and he piped down and he didn't do it again. But do you think it might be club specific, and we might be lucky that the clubs that we've got that actually they are safer environments than other clubs might be?
I think there might be something in that. I think the size of the location. So Lincoln is a city, but it's like we used to call it kind of like a market town city. I mean, it's grown since then, but yeah, it's a sort of city where, you know, everybody knows everybody, and everybody knows somebody else that knows somebody that you know. It's one of them. You can't go anywhere without somebody knowing what you've been up to. So I think that might be part of it. I think the club itself has a lot to do. Its leadership and the tone that it sets can have a real impact as well. So where the staff and everybody involved at the club from the top down is kind of fan-centered and focused and appreciates fans, I think you get a much better feeling, and that ripples through the fan base. And yeah, you're always going to have fans that have a gripe or that have a bit of a, you know, don't agree with each other, and that's fine. But generally speaking, I think that works for us.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think we've been quite lucky. We've certainly had the support of the club. You know, they've been behind us all the way,
which is brilliant.
Yeah. So we can't fault them really. So
if people want to get in touch with like Lincoln ladies, if anybody's watching this from Lincoln, obviously I'm not expecting Blackpool fans too, but if anybody, how do they get in touch with you, and tell us how, you know?
We've got a closed Facebook group, and it started off as closed because there was a bit of flack when we started, you know, about what do we need one of them for, and what, you know, a bit like the kind of, you know, the kitchen comments in the ironing board and all of that. Yeah. But I think we're kind of we found our own feet a little bit, and that's fine. So we've got a Facebook page, Lady Imps Supporters Association, at Lady Imps on Twitter, and we've got a website which is ladyimps.co.uk, so you can have a look at some of the stuff, some of the events we've done, the charity fundraising that we've done. Yeah, people can get involved and have a look at.
Is there anything that you're looking, you know, is there anything you're looking for that would add to your group, and, you know, is there any people that you would like to get involved with you? Is there anything like that?
Anybody who maybe thinks that football's not for them, but they're a bit interested and want to have a see, if it's okay for them, and or if they've got any fears about going to games or getting involved. Or look, I know nothing about football. I can't talk, you know, there's people far more qualified than me to talk about the players on the pitch and the positions and all that. So you're not going to get that from me, but you'll get a lot of passion about the club and what football, the power that football has to bring people together and to enjoy the game. And yeah,
so I can't believe that, because I was just going to ask you what formation they were going to play tomorrow. I thought you were going to give us something.
Yeah,
about...
maybe don't do that.
To be honest, we don't have a clue.
Oh, we do.
We don't. Honestly, we don't. People ask us about, you know, what formations, about other teams' players, Premier League players. I'm going to clue. We're not interested. We know our players.
We don't have a grasp of the wider sort of, aspects of the game. So like, we only watch, I don't know if you're the same, but, I've always watched Blackpool and that's it. My whole like focus in life my football focus has been on Blackpool, and I don't really pay much attention to what's going on in the Premier League. And we're going to be doing England watch-alongs, and people have been asking questions.
Don't know who the England players are.
We've never watched them play this season because we don't watch the Premier League. We just don't, everything's Blackpool. So I suppose it's the same for you, but I know a lot about football. I know how to play football. I know how football works. I mean, obviously, as ladies, you haven't played football. I appreciate that.
Not necessarily.
You might have done. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, you have played football. I stand corrected.
We did
you
a
haven't
bit
played
of walking football.
Oh, you've done walking football.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's great. That's really good.
I actually ruptured my cruciate ligament playing walking football. So I actually had a football injury.
Wow, that's some going.
Stephen Willis, it's about time we talk to Jake. He's being left out. So go on, Jake.
These two are great. Keep them talking. I was actually talking about the Cowley versus Cowley event that you guys put on a few years ago.
Yeah.
Really good. Really enjoyed it. Amazing.
These two are better than me. I can't believe we did it, really, when I look back and kind of think, how did we do that?
What did you do? Sorry, what's this? Tell us all about it.
So when we had Danny and Nikki Cowley as our managers, we decided to put on, it was like a question of sport event, but staged. So we took over the engine shed in Lincoln, which is a huge kind of big venue with a stage and everything. We seated 700 imps.
Wow.
And we had Danny and Nikki as the team captains and a couple of ex-players, and everybody got involved. And we just did a series of kind of games, really, and it was based on a quiz, and we got them to do all sorts. We got them to draw Poacher the Imp. We did football questions. We did, keepy up. I think we got some of our players to do some keepy uppers and guess how many they would do. And so we did. That's how we raised money for the 3 local charities. So we raised.
That sounds amazing.
Cowley 1, and we did Cowley 2 the following year, and it ended up they were a win apiece, so it ended quite nicely. And then of course they left, so we couldn't do number 3.
Oh, what a shame!
You'll have to get Appleton apple bobbing. There's your challenge.
I'll let him know. A tangerine fight with him.
I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Such a positive group that you've got there, really conveying a positive message and doing great things for the community as well. I think it's absolutely wonderful. You're an inspiration.
Thank you. I think the one thing to say is that we are not, while we're Lady Imps and we're called Lisa and stuff, all the time we've said this is not gender specific. This is about, yes, we're ladies and we've kind of got together and we've led it. But we have men on the group, people of any gender, any background are welcome, because it's about encouraging everybody to get involved in football. And we need the support of men that want women to be engaged in the game.
Yeah, sure.
To support that and encourage it and to welcome them. So, yeah, anybody's welcome.
Brilliant.
Ryan Dunbar says that being a football fan isn't about gender. It's loving the game, enjoying the game, and being part of something. But there's also the ones who have never been to a game yet claim they know football as well.
Yes.
So it is.
You don't necessarily have to. We've had a different
I've talked to a few
experience.
ex-girlfriends take them to football matches, so it's not like I've not gone with a girl before. So when I was, younger, when I was a teenager, really, I was. They never saw me again after. Well, they spent a match with me.
Yes, we were discussing this earlier with the ladies.
Oh, did you hear the Jane's interview on the radio on last night on Radio Lincolnshire? Well, it's a thing between me and Jane, because she's always on the radio. She's like a real, I don't know, she's just every radio station contacts her all the time. Never ever contact me. It's like, you're on Lee Charles TV, but like, I don't exist. And so I've just I've never been on the radio, so my big debut came last night. I wasn't on it personally, but they recorded me in
well,
the end of
they asked the question. I walked straight into this, didn't know he was going to do it. He asked the question. So just tell me, what you've been doing with your YouTube channel, my YouTube channel.
Your YouTube
this season while we've had no game. So I said, we've been doing these live watch-alongs where we watch the game on iFollow and people watch us watching the game. Sometimes they'll watch the game with us. Sometimes they'll just watch us watching the game. We've got a nice little community and it's great. And he said, actually, yes, I've been on to this channel and here are my highlights. And basically it was just Lee ranting when the Lincoln goals went in about how terrible we were and it's relegation form this. And it just did us up like kippers.
So that was my big debut. In fact, everything goes wrong for me. We had
here we go. It's violence.
When I first started the channel, this is quite a funny story. People who watch it will know, but I did a video. I went down to Blifford Road and I cleaned this. I went down to volunteer to clean the seats because all the seats had been empty for years and they were covered all in pigeon poo everywhere. So they're asking for volunteers to clean the seats before we went back to the homecoming day. So I thought, I know what I can do with YouTube. I kept thinking of what I can do. I thought, I'll go down. I'll film myself down there and I'll try and film what's going on. I'll film the seats and have a rant at Oyster and all this sort of stuff. So I made this little video when I went down there and I got all the volunteers singing a song. We will clean 5,000 seats and we will clean 5,000 and all this. So I got all this done. It was amazing what I did. And I put it on YouTube and within a couple of days, I got this text came through from the EFL Quest show saying, can we use your footage? I was like, yeah, sure. Then the One show got in touch with me. And anyway, there was on the homecoming day, which was the day this was all ready for, they came down and met me and interviewed me on the comedy carpet and all the people from Blackpool, and Christine Seddon, who's the chairman, was the chair of BST at the time. And I spoke to them for I had a 5-minute interview. I told them all these fantastic stories, and the One show that I even filmed the One show with me, showing here I am with the One show and all. And spoke to EFL Quest. And then, of course, went round to the house. All the boys were there and everything. Everybody's waiting for this big debut of Dad on, this EFL Quest show and the One show. And on the EFL show, they just all he put on was I was saying, you won't believe the hell we've been through, and that was it. Just that one line. That was it. Everybody else, they were on for ages. Me, just you won't believe, and it was on before, and all the kids were you remember Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
With Mike, the green thing, and they just stamped over his head with Monsters Inc. as he came on, and he just went he thought he was going to cry. And he's and he just went, I'm on TV, and he was so excited about the fact he was actually on for one brief second, even though you could. And they were all giving me that at home, and that was Dad's. And then to make it even worse, the Quest show did show my footage, so they showed loads of it, and they showed me. There was a bit where I was cleaning the seats with a sponge, filming myself, but they cut my head off. No, they did. There was just my torso I wasn't even on. I'm perfectly on if you watch the video, I'm there, myself, filming myself, cleaning the seats, and they just cut me off. So that was my, big.
Your
I'm on
time
TV.
will come.
It will, but hopefully not in a stitch-up situation like BBC Lincoln did to me. So if you're watching this BBC Radio Lincoln, you'll have me on properly next time.
You can be on Radio Lincoln.
Oh, Dom Clark.
I was on Look North last night. He wasn't.
No. well, we did what did we do? We did an interview. But, we're in the cup. What was it when they came down? Yeah, it was the cup game, wasn't it? And Sky came down, everything. We had to meet them down the promenade, and it was raining sideways.
This was for football.
At the point I started talking, and they had to pack in, and the only bit that I'm on is my shoulder. So there's just I'm like that.
I was on.
She's talking away. You just see my shoulder. And people on here were saying, and the Oscar for best shoulder goes to Lee. Lee Charles TV. Dom's posted, hopefully another Lee Charles meltdown tomorrow.
Oh,
cheers,
no,
Dom.
please, have pity on me, please.
Mark Paul, you see, there's people in my corner here. It's coming.
I'll be moving in with Jake.
Mark Paul says, "You never received the media limelight you deserve, Lee. Always the bride. Always the bride.
Bridesmaid.
Yeah, the bride. Yeah, never the bride. Always the bridesmaid. Yes. And Alan Ducker says, maybe it's your face
on the radio."
Somebody actually did say I had a face for radio on the fans forums. Oh, it's all good fun though, isn't it? So yeah. Anyway, carry on. Carry on. I've interrupted everybody again.
So Jake, you mentioned how you've definitely noticed a difference in the diversity in the crowd since you've started going. How much of a difference have you noticed?
Oh, massive. There's like just as part of the football family that I go with, there's two ladies there, there's children, there's BAME communities as well, and especially where I sit in the lower co-op, the diversity is amazing. From what it was when I first went back in 2011 was my first full season, and these ladies have done really well to get women involved. There's all sorts of people involved with Lincoln now, and I think also the disabled group as well are really catered for at Sincil Bank. You've got the disabled. I think there's like a lounge there, and there's like a little viewing platform for them as well, which was never there when I first went. So there's a lot of different people coming to the football club, and it sort of shows. I think Lincoln as a city, really, we're getting a bit more diverse. And I live in Boston, which is extremely diverse. But Lincoln is sort of catching up, and it's really good to see that more people from all sorts of walks of life are feeling comfortable to come into Sincil Bank, because it's important, isn't it, that we have all these groups of people together. And our hashtag is, I said this on the Stacey West podcast this week, is imps as one, and it sort of completely goes against the whole point if you're prejudging and discriminating against one group of people. So yeah, it's really good what the work these guys have done. I was at both the Cowley events, really well run, fantastic. I know a few of the ladies involved, and really hats off to them, because they've been a driving force behind the club. And as we get better on the pitch, we're going to be better off the pitch, and I think these guys have probably got a really big part to play in that. Have you had the ladies on your Stacey podcast? Have they been on the Stacey West podcast? I don't actually run the podcast. It's Gary and Ben. So you want to be on? You ought to do, because they talk really well, don't they? And yeah.
Oh, Jake, you're an angel.
Yes.
Comments are coming here, folks. I've quickly got to go. David Scholes says it's all about. David Scholes is saying it's all about star quality, Lee. I think that's a dig at me for not having any. Although Mo Bacal says it. I love your meltdowns, Lee. So thank you very much. I love the fact that people love my meltdowns. That's brilliant.
That's why people tune in at the end. Our viewing figures, honestly, they go through the roof at the end, because everyone wants to see Lee having his meltdown. It's like a 10-minute hell zone with me. Ryan Dunbar says defibrillator at the ready tomorrow, Lee. And remember, Lee, you're the Tom Cruise lookalike, so TV isn't a mission impossible. I do like that. Thank you very much. I'll take that. I'll take that now. Freddie Abram is actually in London. Hello from London. Can't wait for tomorrow. He's there already. Freddie, who comes on our show. Are you able to come on, Freddie, or are you a bit pissed? He's hammered. Let us know. I've spoken to him. He's hammered. All right. Yeah, well, maybe we'll leave it today then. Oh, so Ryan Dunbar is actually a disabled fan. He's a fan of the channel. He's a Blackpool and Rangers fan. He's handicapped, and he just says, "Thanks for that, Jake. Really rub it in. The Lincoln City have better facilities for us disabled than Rangers needed. That actually helps my case that I can add another club with better facilities." And also, there was come on, campaign. Yes, you can also have. There was no Freddie, no, we no. But yeah, Rotherham looked really good as well, didn't it, for the disabled fans? We were actually filming in Rotherham's ground until the stewards decided to Rotherham be mean bags. Rotherham was horrible. This is why we need to get promoted, guys, because we need to avoid Rotherham. Yeah, this is one of the main reasons why we need to get out of this division, because honestly, if we go back to Rotherham, we will be lynched. If you see my video, my rant about Rotherham as I'm coming out, so bad. And there was loads of Rotherham fans as well, and I was having a real rant because they were miserable, weren't they? They were the most miserable people. I actually rated my away days, because I did all the away days in 1920 vlogs for this channel, and Lincoln came top because I just had the most amazing weekend there. So if you haven't seen that, if you on this channel, if there's a section for Jane's away days, and
you've got your own section.
I've got my own section, yeah. But the bottom ranked club was, I think, Rotherham. They're about, I think I might have had Portsmouth bottom just by dint of not having wanted to go at all. But Rotherham was, honestly, they were so miserable. You know, you see how welcoming other clubs are.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Reading were wonderful. When I went to Reading, they said, "Oh, you're looking beautiful today." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you very much."
Yeah.
And then at Rotherham,
don't touch the dog. Don't pet the dog.
Don't, they got a sniffer dog. Like, don't touch the dog. Oh, okay, right, fine.
We've got Cornell.
It was actually like going to Stalag 19 or something.
Oh,
You know, you imagine not barbed wire around and everything. It's a nice stadium, but flipping out, they were miserable. And the steward, this real jobs with steward woman, didn't she, get coming over? You know, you can't
film in here.
I was trying to film the disabled facilities just to show how wonderful
how good
they
it
were.
was.
And she was like, you know, they're watching you up there. You're not allowed to film and all this. And we're like, well, we're trying to show how good you are. Well, you're not. You're horrible. So we'll tell them how horrible you are.
I went to Sunderland and I was filming at Sunderland, and the steward was like, sort of apologised for standing in my way. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, pets." You know, the difference that you get at different grounds, honestly, it's amazing, really. So,
do you have supporter liaison officers?
Yes.
Are they all supporters, or are they employed by the club, or are they volunteers?
They are volunteers.
How many have you got?
4.
Competition.
What about you?
We've got 4, I think, still, but they've had a really positive impact, I think.
Yeah.
On and especially, so Heidi does a lot of disability work.
Yeah. She was a lady imp, and she still is a lady, but she's the disability support liaison officer, so she really deals with everything related to anybody struggling to get to the ground or struggling with tickets. She's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So,
yeah, I think the issue that we have with ours is basically we've got like one main one and 3 other ones, so they have a stand each on match days. But I think it seems quite difficult to get answers on anything from the club. I think it's a bit of a thankless task. I think it's not working, perhaps. For me, I feel it's like it's a position that we've got because we've got to have it, and not necessarily because the club want it. I think it's not working as well as it sounds like it is doing for you.
Yeah, it is very good. I think we've had a slightly different viewpoint to that. We've got them, and they used. You know, they are very visible, involved. They're in every game. They go to the away games. It's it's a positive thing that we do as a club. So.
I think that the problem that we've got really is that the fans obviously got rid of the previous owners through all 5 years of campaigning, and then there was like fans on the board. There was a fan, Christine was managing the hotel at the football club, and Tim Fielding was on the board. And then when the new owner came in, I get the impression that it's like the fans had too much power here and just keep them at arm's length now. So that's the impression that I get of how things are at the moment. They do nice things for us, but they do keep us at arm's length.
Yeah, they're not.
Times.
We do say quite a lot. They're not engaging quite as much with the fans as they could, but they're still doing a good job.
They're going in the right direction, but I think they are sort of wary of us and what our intentions are, I suppose. But we just want the best experience that we can have, really, without necessarily wanting to run the club and tell them how to do that. And it's
I think it's a missed opportunity, I think, because there are so many skills and talents among the fan bases of clubs that can add so much value that it's crazy to miss out on that. And we're lucky enough to have 2 supporters on the board, which is fantastic, unheard of, isn't it, anywhere, I think. And the club genuinely wants them to work properly for the fans and for the club. There seems to be, willingness to work with that.
I get the feeling just from like listening to what you're saying, that as well as Blackpool, I think Lincoln are progressing, and I think whatever happens for either of our clubs tomorrow, I think we're both going in the right direction. Blackpool are going in a very, very wrong direction with terrible owners. The new owners have come in, and the plans and the things they're putting into place are going to reap the benefits. And from talking to you guys, I can also see whichever one of us doesn't get up, I still think we're going to do it in the end. It's a bit like we've been watching American Idol, and I shouldn't really say that on this, should I? But anyway,
Where's this going?
sorry, guys. I have been watching America. I've enjoyed it as well. It's been really good, but they've had so much talent this year in American Idol, and it's just finished, and the winners got. But like you could probably safely say that the top 5 are all going to be stars, aren't they? You know, they'll all make it, whether they win American Idol or not. In fact, the guy that won it was already #1 in the charts with the song that he'd released while he's been in America.
And he'd written as well.
Yeah, he'd written. So,
the cream always rises to the top, I guess,
yeah,
is what you say.
I think it's gonna, it's gonna come for both of us.
It's natural progression because you've got clubs, like Sunderland, or where they are because they're in a mess, and they were in a bigger mess, and they're just trying to get dig themselves out of a hole, really. Yeah. But if you're a well-run club and you're visibly doing things to get yourself in the right direction, it will happen. It's got to happen. There's no way it can't happen. And this is what I've said about us all season. I said there's no way that we're not getting promoted. Oh God, yeah, there's no way we're not getting promoted because we're doing everything right.
No, in the end, I think is what she's trying to say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would have happened this season, wouldn't it? If we hadn't had such a terrible start. Yeah, so if both of us keep doing what we're doing,
we're gonna get up.
We will get up, whether it's this year or whether it's next year after. It will happen because it's got to happen. There's no way it can't happen.
Agreed.
Oh, the Blackpool coach
left 25 minutes.
Yeah. So we'll see you in the Championship season after next.
Yes. Colin Major says it's just a question for you, Jane. How did you rate Sunderland, and what do you think of our stadium? How did you rate Sunderland? This may not go down quite as well.
Well, on the away day reviews, it was sort of upper mid-table. I think the pies were magnificent.
Best pies.
There's not many good pies. I mean, I don't. It even go, yeah. It had it was a chicken balti pie. And it had cumin seeds on the top, and it was really nice. That's the main thing that I remember. I didn't like the steps.
Pies are great.
There's a lot of steps going up to the away end there. Didn't like that. What was the rest?
Have you been there to their stadium? And they actually
lots of steps. Yeah.
They actually take
not as bad as Newcastle.
Well, they have a bit of a joke, don't they? As you're going up the stairs, which says like this is as high as
Chris Waddle's penalty.
Chris Waddle's penalty went, and all this as you're going up.
Yeah. What was the rest of that question about Sunderland there?
I've lost it now. What do you think of our stadium?
So the stadium, a bit too high up for me. But yeah, nice atmosphere. But as an away fan, again, like Newcastle, sorry, you don't like being compared to them, but as an away fan, you have to climb too many stairs and you can't really see, and it's not a great.
Everything's really far away. Everything's like really tiny.
Yeah, you need like binoculars from a London show to see what's going on.
As for Sunderland itself, I haven't seen a lot of it, but I do plan to explore it properly next time. I've been doing virtual pub crawls for my blogs this season, and it looks fantastic. The Vox Brewery, which used to sponsor our shirts, are being they've reborn. So that's exciting. That's being built near the ground. And they've got a lighthouse on the end of the pier, which
that's lovely. Sunderland's lovely. I like Sunderland. I know some nice Sunderland fans.
Yeah, me too.
Close to my heart, and feeling for them. In lots of ways. But yes, I've heard the comments about the sense of entitlement is.
Stephen Woolley says the Blackpool coach just left 25 minutes ago. I was going to go and film them going, so they've gone now. But he says that the coach is grey, not tangerine. He's very disappointed. Well, as if they're going to respray a coach. Just where do you find a tangerine coach nowadays? There's not many of them, is there? So you're not going to find many tangerine coaches around. I'm
People
sure
always find something to complain about.
Just completely respray. Maybe could have wrapped it in tangerine for everybody to. Oh, blimey! I tell you. Steve Eckersley says, I hope that eventually English football will eventually go down the German route, but I see it over a decade away at least. Is that where it's all fan owned? Is that German have got a lot of fan owned clubs? Is that what he's meaning?
I think it's 51%. It's not ownership, but it's a say in what happens at the club. That model, I think.
I can't honestly. I think money is just too influential over here. I can't see that happening. I can't see how it can happen without legislation, and that the people who make the legislation are all about the money, aren't they? So it's not going to happen, is it? Really?
See what happens in the fan-led review.
Well,
see what comes out of that, if anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I was wondering why we lost quite a few viewers. David Scholes is pointing it out to me. He says, what I said about star quality. Sheesh, I think he's meaning the bit that I said I was watching American Idol. So I think that maybe got rid of half the people watching this. I knew I was on a tenuous point there. I maybe shouldn't have brought it up. You know, when you want to kind of suck a word back in when it's coming out, you think, well, why have I said that? But I had to go with it.
But honestly, it's joyful viewing, and we're all about the joy. So it's good.
We're all still excited, and we're all still friends at the minute, aren't we? So
yeah, we are. I really hope we can keep that.
We haven't seen the voodoo dolls that we've got. With pins are sticking in under the counter.
Jackie's been sticking pins in tangerines all morning.
Mark Porter says Burnley is a good example of a well-run club. That's why they eventually progressed out of the lower leagues and are now an established Premier. They're not. Burnley are just tight. Absolutely tight as hell. They won't spend 10 bob on anything. So they had a lucky break getting the Premier League, and they've been in there ever since summer. But they don't spend any money, do they? They're just Burnley people are so tight.
It's practically Yorkshire, isn't it?
We're quite grateful for Burnley, actually. We quite like them after the cup run.
After beating them,
yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you beat them. Yeah.
Fabulous acting. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I was saying earlier, we look up to Burnley. Well, I do, because they inspired. They got to the Premier League a year before we did, and we're like, well, if they can do it, it's an inspiration to us. So why can't we do it? And we did it, and the rest is.
I mean, they've done amazingly well. You've got to say, for Burnley, they really have. Ryan Dunbar says, wait until you both visit Ibrox. Lovely pie, sprinkled with the seasoning of food poisoning and cold. Sounds really good.
I thought the food was good in Scotland. I've heard about all these bridies and all sorts of lovely, amazing things they have up there.
Alan Duckers is saying, have the ladies been to Blackpool? The next question would be, are the ladies single? You've not been for a long time.
I think I might have been 8 when I went to Blackpool last.
I've never been.
You've never been. You've lived in all these different places for 4 years. And you've never been to Blackpool. That's just remove it from the stream now. That's it. Off you go.
You must come up to Blackpool. Honestly, it's. I mean, you wouldn't recognise it if you've not been since you were 8. It's completely transformed now.
Worse, isn't it? It's kind of grubbier than it probably was.
It depends where you go. But
it is improving. They are improving it.
It's a place like no other.
We'll visit. We will.
It would be one of those things that we would have come to had we been able to go to games. That would have been, but unfortunately,
no.
Little pandemic hit. So
that's it's kind of messed everybody up, hasn't it? Brian Thompson says, well, I don't know where he is, but he's saying morning, everyone. So
maybe he's at a lie-in.
Lee Jane and Mr. Dunbar, Jakey Boy, and the 2 guests. He's saying hello to everybody. And
these are the Lincoln Lady Imps.
You have to be very careful on our stream to mention that you've turned up late, because you normally get lines and stuff from the people in the comments if you turn up late for a Lee Charles TV show.
We were issuing fines at one point, actually.
Yeah. And you can super chat, by the way, folks out there, if you and give the streamer a like, and Jane will do a like. Give them one of those, and also a sub if you can. And also, I'm hoping some of these Lincoln ladies in your, get told about this and come and see what a wonderful representation you've done of your club as well. So
and also,
people watch it on the restream.
If the Imps would like to, and we're going to be recording a vlog of the match tomorrow. We're going to try, as I explained earlier, and be as neutral as possible until we get to the match. So we will be meeting up with Jake and the Lady Imps down at Wembley in person, which will be lovely to meet you all. Really will.
Just look for somebody in the square like this. There's just a head and a square will come along. how you're right.
Well, as we met Freddie, because Freddie's been working on the channel with us for months, and like we met him for the first time last week. Like, what? You're tall.
Yeah.
You just don't see things like that. It's like people meet me, go, oh, you look taller on the telly. I'm like,
you're so much better looking in real life. That's what I mean.
But we so we're going to be making a vlog of the whole experience. You know, the journey down. We'll be singing in the car on the way down. Obviously, meeting you guys and other people, and getting a feel for the mood, and showing what it's like at Wembley, and filming what we can get away with inside Wembley, and reporting on the price of the food and stuff like that. So obviously the game will be. Yeah, we can't not be biased during the game because it's such a high emotion thing. But the way we view these videos is, if we win, then our fans will watch it, but if you win, your fans will watch it, so we'll get the views crying, either way, basically. But it's see us crying. But you exactly. Which you'll love it, won't you? If you win, you'll love to watch that, and if we win, our fans will love to watch it. So hopefully, whatever way it goes, you can watch it up to the game, even if you don't want to watch any further than that after the event. But that'll be my next debut on BBC Radio Lincoln, with me going mental on the video. I'll be back on, won't I, with some other thing. I think Stephen Woolley is really upset about this coach. No. He says he'll buy a tin of tangerine paint and spray it himself. Is that insensitive? They've got in a grey coach. Oh dear. Blimey, Stephen, you're taking it really, really bad. I can't believe you expected a tangerine coach. Maybe in the days of, I don't know, and have you ever seen a tangerine coach anywhere? There's not many of them around, is it? It would have been hard to find one, I'm sure. I think probably one of the supporters groups might have had a tangerine minibus at some point, but
I think there's one in Grantham.
Oh, one in Grantham.
Aid Whittaker's
cool.
Aid Whittaker's playing catch. He says, I actually like the view from up in the gods at Newcastle. I know it's a half-hour climb, but there's a great view of the action. And he's laughing. Cue Jane spitting flames.
Well, I've started walking into the ground with a limp and getting the lift now because I just can't. I can't cope. I'm no good with hills or stairs, and don't get me started on Steep Hill. By the way, in Lincoln, it's just. I was easy. Well, I was with a friend. Who's a walking instructor. Is not the word. Is it guide? She's a walking guide, and she was telling me, how to walk up, with little steps and whatever. And it was just awful. I couldn't cope with it at all.
Jake, you walk down Steep Hill in a pair of stilettos. You haven't lived.
Oh no.
Oh, Jane loves Steep Hill, didn't you? It's one of your favourite things. You need a Sherpa for Steep Hill, don't you? You need to have Sherpas at the bottom.
But this is the one gripe I've got with Lincoln people, actually, because I spent time going up Steep Hill and down Steep Hill, and then no one told me there's a bus that goes up Steep Hill. Why'd you keep that to yourselves?
Very good for you.
Yeah.
It's not good for me.
It's part of the experience.
Oh well, I've done it once.
Stephen Woolley says,
"Oh look, there's the tourist."
Just put this in from Stephen. We're still going. Honestly, Harry Shaw coaches of Coventry are all tangerine. We should have hired one of them out. There's no excuses. Stephen,
I love you getting so angry about this. Are you in the pub, Stephen?
Oh God.
Love it. That's brilliant.
You know what's going to happen? We're going to all pay for every tangerine coach in the country to descend on Blackpool. We'll have a whip round.
Yeah. Ryan Dunbar says certain clubs, Jane, but Rangers, we defy science and all but humanely possible burgers that are raw on the outside but crunch and taste burnt. They sound.
Oh, that sounds like a Stockport burger. Yeah, it came back up within 10 minutes of me eating it one time. Never eat there again.
Apparently, there's lots at Wembley not wearing masks today, so I can't. There's that much space in between everybody. I can't even.
Yeah, I know.
It's one of those things, isn't it? It's if you have to do it. If I've got to wear a mask in order to go to the game, that's what I'll do.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah, but we can't sit together. We're like a seat apart, which is we live together. We're sat together now. That doesn't. But I kind of guess it. I can see why they're doing it from a stewarding point of view, because they don't know that we live together.
I think that's it, isn't it? No, who knows who's with who?
Yeah.
I might be glad of it.
Looking sat next to me, but it's like.
David's warning us says, do not try to take food or drink into Wembley, guys, and be prepared to pay through the nose. Yeah, that's the only thing with Wembley. It is a bit expensive. We've had that before.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It was like £7 or £8 a pint, I think, when I went a couple of years ago for non-league finals day.
Ryan is saying, yeah, it's very expensive. He's saying, wait till we meet him. He's totally unrecognisable. I don't have 55 on my face like my profile picture says. Yeah, so we might not be able to spot you then, Ryan. We might not be able to spot you.
Tangerine, you can't miss him.
What's this? Had to turn it down. Sorry. Really? Hey, Whittaker says, the match got offered a seat by Ticketmaster at ground level in block 133, just to the left of the goal. Had to turn it down, sadly, as the view of the match would have been rubbish.
Are there any rubbish seats at Wembley?
I don't think there are any rubbish seats at Wembley, are there? I think you can see pretty much. I've never been in a rubbish seat at Wembley anyway. The old Wembley, was really hard because it was, if you got down the front, there was, you were quite low down. You'd be under like a big wall, and
we've only been once, so we had a pretty good time last time we were there anyway.
Yeah. Well, we've been quite a lot of times.
Yeah, it's like our second home.
Yeah, the Millennium Stadium used to be very lucky for us.
Oh yeah, at one point we'd scored more goals at the Millennium Stadium than Wales.
Yeah.
That's a stat.
Yeah,
it is a stat, isn't it?
Because we were there 3 seasons out of 4.
I used to have a shirt which I bought from one of the vendors there, and it said Blackpool FC Millennium Stadium, home of Blackpool FC.
I missed it. I loved it there because it was in the city and not sort of on its own like Wembley is. It's kind of a weird. It's just a jaunt to get to Wembley. It's not that we're complaining, but Cardiff was just so much easier because it's just there. You go to the pub and then you just walk to the ground and you're there.
Are you all going, by the way? Are you all going, or?
Yes.
You're all going. How are you getting there?
Car and train.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, that's what we're doing as well. We go down to Beaconsfield, which is the junction 2 off the M40, and that you just come off literally off the motorway, and the train station is literally about a minute away, and then there's there usually is free parking on a Sunday, and it's just 22 minutes in on the train, and then coming out, it's just you're straight out and straight back on the motorway, and you miss all the traffic. It's really good. That's the way to do it. Definitely. It is definitely.
Where are you guys driving into?
Well, we're driving into Stanmore, and then getting the tube because it's only 4 stops on the Jubilee line. It's where I used to live. I used to live 1.5 miles from Stanmore, so I know the area really well.
So do you go down the M1? You'll be going down the M1, will you too?
Yeah,
straight down the M1. The A1, M1.
A1 M1, yeah. So it'll take us straight down, and we'll come off at Apex Corner and go off to Stanmore, and then we're parking on a drive, right? And getting the tube in and staying overnight. Right?
Brilliant.
On the drive, we booked a hotel. I'd like to add, we're not going to rock up and sleep on somebody's drive. We are staying overnight.
So you're staying at a hotel, are you? You're actually spending the night? Oh, okay. We're just going down and coming back, aren't we? We're just coming back. Brentford have just got promoted.
You need to do the video, don't you? Anyway.
Brentford are. Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing it till 5 a.m.
I bet you will. I bet you will.
I finished the playoff video. We didn't get out till we didn't get home till about 10:25, and then I had to start on the video, and it was I literally finished it at 5 o'clock in the morning. It was unbelievable. It was so hard because with football you've got to get the video on pretty quickly, normally, but at least with this one there is a summer for people to watch it. It's not going to be, it's not going to die.
You're still going to want it up straight away though.
Yeah, you will. You'll want it on straight away.
I know I am. Callum Coyley's going in his dad's car, and he says,
"Is it Tangerine?
Is it? Yes. If it's not, if it's not,
if it's not, just say yes.
If it's not, Stephen will come and paint
it for you."
Right, Brian Thompson. Brian Thompson's back in the room. It's a genuine question. Do you have any famous songs from Lincolnshire along the lines of Lassie from Lancashire, like Ilkley Moor by Tat, I suppose, or Blade and Races? Is there anything for Lincoln? Do you have any?
Interesting question.
Oh, there's a Lincolnshire poacher tune, isn't there? That's the
the Dam Busters, maybe.
Dam Busters, yeah.
That's more famous for our sausages than tunes. So.
And people, I suppose. We've had Maggie Thatcher, Isaac Newton.
Grantham.
We've got
Lincolnshire.
We've got a few actually, haven't we? You know, we've got
the Nolans.
We've got the Nolans. We've got, you know, with my little sticker, Blackpool Rock from you know, from George Formby. We have quite a few.
Ricky Tomlinson was born in.
We've got
Blackpool,
plum bread,
Robert
Jane.
Smith from the Cure. You have got plum bread, yes.
You can't steal that away from us.
I know, but you've got to bring some with you if we're going to meet you,
because
Jane's
it's really hard to get hold of.
It's impossible.
I had to sort of be really crafty about it. So I actually ordered a beer delivery from what's it called, that pub I like,
the pub in Lincoln. I can't remember.
Have I forgotten what it's called? It's at the bottom of Steep Hill, Straight and Narrow.
Straight and Narrow.
So I was really nice about them in my blog, and they like sent me a t-shirt and everything, which I should be wearing today, really, I suppose. Not wearing tomorrow because I got my lucky t-shirt for tomorrow, as well as my lucky chocolate arrow. So they were doing beer deliveries from the Straight and Narrow during lockdown. So I did an order with them, and I'm like, you wouldn't be able to just go to the shop and stick me some plum bread in it, would you? And they did.
Jane has also put together.
Yeah, it's just lovely people.
Jane has also put together a 36-hour driving playlist, lucky playlist. So we're going to have to set off soon to listen to all 36 hours of this goddamn playlist. It's on Apple Tunes if you want.
Yeah, iTunes. Yeah, I've shared
it
on
Twitter. iTunes, 36 hours of music if you want to. Listen along.
It's just things to like, belt out in the car and sing along to. Well, I accidentally added another playlist into my Wembley playlist, so I've just been sort of like editing it down. But it's hard because they're all bangers.
Yeah.
Is this a fact? David Skull says that Lincoln is a million miles from everywhere.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Just the way we like it.
Yeah, that's the way.
It is a bit of
you've got to make an effort to get here, and then when you get here, it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely, I'd agree with that. I didn't want to leave. That's why I was crying at the end of the Lincoln video. If you've watched it on my away day at Lincoln, that was the real reason I was crying. Yeah.
This could be their lucky thing, because Blackpool are not in the side that they won at Wembley in 2010. They're in the opposite side. We've never been on the west side before. We're normally in the east. But I'm going to counter that by saying that we lost to West Ham in that side. So it's about we needed to change. The look had already gone from that side for us. So I'm going to keep my faith there. Ryan Dunbar says, is Skegness Lincolnshire or East Lindsey? You used to go to Skeggy all the time.
20 minutes down the road from me, Skegness.
Went to Butlins, Skeggy, for an absolute 80s weekender. Saw Bucks Fizz there, and Katrina and the Waves.
Cool.
Yeah. But I prefer Clee. I'm not sure I'm allowed to say that in present company, but I'm completely in love with Cleethorpes. And it's funny, like you were saying earlier, ladies, about Lincoln, about everybody knows what everyone else is doing. I had that when I went to Cleethorpes, because I went out to Steele's, which is the famous fish and chip shop, and I had gravy on my fish and chips. And I tweeted about it, and I just got absolute outrage from Twitter. This was on the Friday night about, you have gravy on your fish. Oh, you should run her out of town. They wanted to burn me at the stake. And I'm like, all right, okay. And I carried on with my evening, And then the next day, I was working for Chasetown at the time, and they were playing at Cleethorpes, and I was in the I just arrived at Cleethorpes Town Football Club and went and sat down. And in fact, I not even got through the doors. And someone said, "Are you the one who had gravy on her chips?" I'm like, what? How do you know about this already? And then I went out after the game. I went into Messaging a Bottle, which is a little bottle shop and bar there. And I was looking at this beer from this local brewery. And I said, I had this last night in Steele's. And the guy who was running the place, he says, "Are you the one who had gravy on your fish and chips?" And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, how do you all know this already? I've been here a day, not even a day.
No secrets in Lincolnshire.
Definitely not. No, it's very
gravy
strange.
on chips is fine, but gravy on fish.
Well, they don't like it down there, I tell you.
It just looks wrong. It just looks wrong. Would you like gravy on your fish, or do you put a bit of tartar sauce on, or
not on fish? I can do a chip muffin with gravy. That's lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, but not on fish. No, you're in a minority.
Well, when I came to Lincoln, this was a big problem I had when I was down last January. I went to the chippy. I can't remember which chippy it was, but they still had Christmas decorations up, which I thought was amazing at the end of January, because still Christmas everywhere, and you just don't take them down, do you, in Lincoln? And I went in and I looked at the menu, and there's no gravy on the menu, so I had to have curry sauce. And I complained about this in my blog, and then I've got Burton Road chippy, which you may know. Yeah. They've been in touch, and they said, when you come down next time, you can make your own chips and make your own gravy. So I can't wait.
Joke coming in very quickly from Ryan Dunbar. Was it sunny in Skeggy for Katrina and the waves, so you were walking on sunshine? Hey. We've got a thing now. We know where they all are.
Yeah, we've had these buttons that make these sound effects, and we've had them since Christmas, haven't we?
Yeah,
but we haven't labelled them, so we didn't know what they do.
Got it all there. It's all going
so all
on.
Season we'll be pressing buttons and we're like, yeah, we think that's laughing, or
yeah,
we think
it's laughing,
that's tumbleweed.
We get that coming over and be like, what's going on this channel? So we're getting organised, folks. We now know what button does what.
We're getting championship ready.
Yeah, we're upping our game for when we're in the championship next season.
Well, you've all been such wonderful company. It's 5:10.
Yeah, no, it's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
We've gone way over injury time and extra time.
We've never done this before. We're going into extra time. Maybe it's an omen.
Maybe it is. Yeah.
We'll see.
Ryan Dunbar says he finally got a laugh off us. Hey, you've done it. It's taken a whole season, but you've done it. We never understand Ryan's Dunbar's jokes, so you got to be Scottish to understand them Irish things sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm only kidding, Ryan. Right.
Well, thank you, everybody. Yeah. You've been absolutely amazing. You've been our favourite guests of the season. Can I say that? Is that okay? Would you agree with that?
Gotta be careful. We don't want to fall out with too many Blackpool people.
It's so much better than last week.
Yeah, no, you've been absolutely fabulous, ladies and Jake
it's
as well.
It's been lovely to be with you.
Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well,
we won't. Obviously, tomorrow we'll never talk to each other again. But
yeah, we'd love to do it again and have you on again when we feel we can.
Yeah, it might be short but sweet, and we'll see you in a few years.
Oh, we'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. Yes, we will see you
yes.
tomorrow.
Brian Thompson is saying, Jake, mate, could you email me about a tactics video I'm doing about tomorrow? So, do you have his email? Right. Does he have your email?
No.
So I don't know how he's going to do that. But
well, you're both my friends on Facebook, so I'm sure you can find each other that way.
Yeah. Cool. Ryan done my fish off with you. He loves us after all that. So that's great.
We love you too.
And Don Clock is saying something about Burton Road chippy with exclamation marks. Yeah. He's going to send it to me. He's going to send it to me, and I'll send it on to you, Jacob.
Well, I hope you all have a safe journey, an uneventful journey tomorrow. And enjoy the day as much as you can.
And despite losing it.
Don't believe you, Lee. I do not believe you. The cheek of it. You're outnumbered for the first time.
No, I know. I'm outnumbered in every way, aren't I? It's just, I'm outnumbered completely. So anyway, it's let's just hope. I say it all the time that the team that wins deserves the win. And that's all you can say, isn't it? As long as it goes.
Okay, Sarah. As long
as it goes that way. Thank you very much for being on the channel. Thank you, everybody on here who's been watching it. And I do apologise for American Idol.
And we'll see you. Well, if we don't see you at Wembley, you can see us on the video. And enjoy your game tomorrow, guys, wherever you're watching it. If you're in the pub, you're watching it at home, or if you're travelling down, again, safe journey to everybody. And may the best team win. But
take care. Yeah, take care.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
I'm going to go to come on, the imps. Bye.
Bye, guys.